perfect way to start your week. Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya. This is KBC Channel 1. How was your weekend? Great to have you on the show once again on this 12th day of February 2024. I hope you have started your week so far so good. And to Arsenal fans, good morning. You know how we do it. We shoot them six. Pa, 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 pa. We shoot them six anytime we want. Nani anaongea?
Ah, wow. It's
Any
okay.
other
Just keep on. Just keep on.
No, any other team is a non-issue.
Manchester United also won. Just in case you didn't know or you don't know, Manchester United. It's a very big team.
Your mic is off. I can't hear you. Welcome to the program. I'm Victor Olo. Of course, Ivory Coast also won. People say that they never expected that Ivory Coast to win. But yes, that is football, and it's now over. But coming back home, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost one of our record holder. That is Kiptum, who died last night in a road accident yesterday night at around 11:30 p.m. rather, together with his coach along Eldoret Kaptagat Road. And yeah, the police commander have so far confirmed the incident, as well his family members. We are very saddened by that, because a record for the nation is a record for everyone. Marie, not a good way to start our Monday, you think?
What did you say?
Not a good way to start our week, having lost.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely not a very good way to start Monday. But some of these things, you know, are beyond us. You know, condolences to the family. Definitely, this was really a promising athlete, and just at 24, you know, he still had a lot to offer in as far as sports is concerned. And talking about not a very good Monday, I think Vivian and I are also mourning in one way or another. We were supporting Nigeria.
We were Team Nigeria.
What
but
happened?
I think as the game was going on, I switched sides, really.
And to get back to
I switched sides, so I'm part of the winning team. Ivory Coast it is.
I am always loyal, no matter what. So I stick with Nigeria. I was there from the first day. So, but it was all good.
Yeah.
You know, it was all good. So thank you so much once again from wherever you're watching us. This is Good Morning Kenya. Definitely will bring you an update on that. And we'll be following up for you the tragic, you know, incident of Kelvin Kiptum, also bringing you up to speed with what happened and all that politics, and definitely sports coming up in a short while in the news this morning. A very good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning to you, Marie. And indeed, as Victor said, it's not a very good way to start the week, having lost a champion who put Kenya on the map. Actually, Kevin Kiptum beat Eliud Kipchoge's record earlier last year, and he was likely poised to take over from Kipchoge, but God had other plans. Condolences to the family and the sporting fraternity. Welcome to the program. My name is Mike Migwi, and later on in the program, we shall be looking at accelerating transformative change within communities in our transformative leadership segment. And we shall be talking to Dr. Joseph Murimi, who is a founder and CEO of Save a Life Community. You want to tune in for that conversation later on in the program. In the meantime, Vivian?
A very good morning to you as well, Mike, and good morning to each and every one of you who is watching us. It is the 12th day of February. We're in February, by the way. It is the 12th day of February, just 2 days to Valentine's, which will be coming up on Wednesday. Now, right now, we will be having a segment later on the show that is on Family Check, and we will be looking at how you get to rise above setbacks. When you are alive, you are bound to come across challenges, and we'll just be looking at ways in which you can be able to bounce back from whichever setback that may come your way. We will be talking about that with Pastor Paul Blessing later on. Right now, I want to hand you over to Marie for the news.
Definitely time for the news. where Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has implored Trans Nzoia County leadership to work with the Kenya Kwanza government for the development of the Western Kenya region. Speaking in Kwanza, that is during a church fundraising function, Rigathi urged the Trans Nzoia electorate as well as the governor to shun the Azimio One Kenya coalition, terming it as of no benefit.
Kinara wetu, Bwana Speaker, I want to congratulate you and the leaders from the Western region kwa ile effort munaweka ya kuunganisha watu ya Western Province. Hapo mbeleni munapita jia kando kando. Wabukusu wakipita huko, wa Maragoli napita pande hii. Watiriki napita huko, wa Idaho napita pande hiyo. Sasa hiyo ndio hamuendagi mbali. Kama sasa nyinyi watu ya Trans Nzoia, mliona kabisa Rais William Ruto anaenda kushinda. Kura zenu mnachukua, zingine mnapatia ile mzee ya kusamia. Sasa hii hesabu gani mnafanya watu ya Trans Nzoia?
Mimi ni chairman ya Trans Nzoia, Bungoma, Vihiga, Kakamega paka Busia, kuunganisha nyinyi kama jamii. Ndiposa jamii kama ya Mheshimiwa Deputy President ituheshimu, lazima tuwe na umoja.
Ile na waomba ndugu zangu wa Trans Nzoia, tushikane tuwe kitu kimoja.
Na watu yangu, ile kitu ningependa tuelewe kitu kimoja. Useme kwamba natembea alienda State House, akaomba hii, akaomba hii, akaomba hii, akaomba hii, hajafanyika, hapana. Ukienda kule is a wish list. Ile maneno tunaambia rais, watu wa Murang'a wanamwambia, watu wa Tharaka Nithi wanamwambia, watu wa Turkana wanamwambia, watu ya Mombasa wanamwambia, watu ya wapi, and the government resources are limited. So ile ambaye wanaweza kutufanyia, tunafanya nini? Tunashukuru.
Nobody, hakuna mtu yote anataka kwenda upinzani. Kila mtu anapiga kura aende kwa serikali. Kweli ama uongo? Sasa mlijaribu, wale mlienda pande hiyo, haikufaulu. Na ndio nataka niseme, Bwana Natembea, ulifanya mzuri, ulikuja kwa rais ukasema tufanye kazi pamoja. That is leadership. That is being pragmatic. Because resources yote iko kwa serikali.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leaders led by Kalonzo Musyoka have defended Chief Justice Martha Koome and the judiciary against political attacks for issuing court orders that have halted government policies and programs. Now the leaders, including Peter Munyar of Party of National Unity and Eugene Omanuel of DAP-K, called on the government to lower taxes and the high cost of living. They also backed Kalonzo Musyoka as Azimio's flag bearer in 2027 general elections.
Wiper Democratic Movement leader Kalonzo Musyoka on Sunday led a section of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leaders in a charm offensive in Meru County, Mount Kenya region. The leaders, including Eugene Wamalwa of DAP Kenya and Peter Munyar of Party of National Unity, began their Meet the People tour by gracing church services at Mudhara Nchui Methodist and Kiengo PCA churches that culminated in a political rally at Maua Stadium. Here, they backed Kalonzo Musyoka for the presidency in 2027.
Na wale wataweza hiyo, mimi naona tu ni Azimio, timu ya Azimio ambayo iko hapa leo kiongozwa na Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka. Mipango iko, thinking is there, watu ambao wana utaalamu huo huko.
Hiyo ndio leo nataka niwaambie Wakristo wetu wa Nchui, muko na hiyo timu hapa na hamuna habari. That team is here in Nchui today in Meru, na sisi tunataka mfungue macho na muweze kuiona.
They also defended the judiciary and Chief Justice Martha Koome against criticism of halting government policies and programs.
Chief Justice Martha Koome alipatia watu wa Kenya serikali, sisi tulikuwa tumepinga. Akatoa uamuzi, hatukukubaliana nao, lakini tukaajibika. Sasa siingiliwe tena. Chief Justice Martha Koome ni mtoto wa Meru. Ni kweli si kweli? Wengine wanasema ni kama wanataka kufanya mswada watoe Martha Koome.
The Azimio principals also faulted the Kenya Kwanza administration over increased taxes and the high cost of living.
Na ukweli wa mambo, Your Excellency, nao na unajua nchi yetu iko na changamoto mingi. Hiyo ndio ukweli. Uchumi unasorota, gharama ya maisha imeenda juu, kusomesha watoto sasa ni shinda.
Munya also used the platform to announce his bid for the Meru gubernatorial race in the next general election. Giverson Maina, KBC, Channel 1.
Thank you, Giverson Maina, for that report. Now, leaders allied to the ruling party led by National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah and Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot have told off opposition leaders on their demands for inclusivity in the reconstitution of the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. Speaking at Sugutek in Kipkelion, West Kericho County during a fundraiser for over 50 churches in the area, Ichung'wah and Cheruiyot dismissed claims that there was an agreement by the National Dialogue Committee that the president consult anyone in the reconstitution of the IBC. Ichung'wah confirmed that the adoption of the Dialogue Committee report will be prioritized when Parliament reopens next week, but asserted that nothing will be done outside the law.
Report details statutes or laws, legislative proposals that will enable us to constitute a new panel that will recruit IBC commissioners. The only point of divergence we have with our colleagues, in the laws that we proposed, there is not a single provision in the law that President William Ruto must consult anybody in appointing either the panel or the commissioners of IBC. President William Ruto must follow the law as it is established or as it will be established by Parliament.
Wakati tuliketi chini kwenye ile komiti ya National Dialogue Committee, tulikaa chini na tukakubaliana na tukasema tutapeleka sheria bunge, na hiyo sheria iko tayari. Tuanze debate wakati tunarudi bunge wiki hii, tupitishe sheria, alafu tupitishe tupatie Wakenya IBC ambaye ni ya Wakenya wote. Hii mambo ya jama na mipango ya kusema ati mtu mmoja lazima azungumziwe. Uchaguzi si ya wanasiasa. Uchaguzi ni ya Wakenya wote. Kwa hivyo hiyo maneno sisi hatuwezi kukubali.
Lete mswada kule bungeni ya kutengeneza upya IBC. Na vile unajua sisi ni askari wako. Ukileta leo tutamaliza leo. Ukituambia tukae mpaka saa 5 usiku tutakaa.
Unaona mambo ya bills katika parliament. Huyo akituweka laini tunapitisha tu. Na Aaron pia wanapitisha pale kwa Senate. Ningependa kusema hii maneno ya IBC lazima itekelezwe, kama si leo ni leo, ama namna gani?
Moving on, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has been urged to join Kenya Kwanza and support the government for the benefit of his Ukambani region. Speaking at a funeral event in Yate sub-county of Machakos County, Kericho Deputy Governor, that is Engineer Frederick Kirui, said that Rift Valley region will support Kalonzo Musyoka for presidency if he stands with President William Ruto in the meantime. Now, Machakos Deputy Governor Francis Mwangangi, however, said that in 2027, a general election, Kalonzo will go for nothing less than the presidency.
Sisi kama wakazi wa Rift Valley hatujawahi rudisha nyinyi mkono. Mlitusaidia wakati wa Moi. Si namna hiyo? Sasa mimi nataka mumuombe huyu principal wenu Kalonzo Musyoka. Unajua kule Rift Valley tunampenda sana. Lakini lazima aungane na rais pole ndio huko mbele tuone kama atasaidia tusukume yeye. Na kama mnataka mtu akuwe rais, niakaribia hapa ndio wakati tutapanga maneno. Bas, next time anapata hiyo kiti.
They need not to fight any other leader. We need to unite tukue kitu kimoja. Ndio Kalonzo aonekane Kericho, aonekane Marsabit, aonekane Mombasa, aonekane kila mahali. Lakini hiyo vita wanataka kuleta hapa, maybe wametuma na opponents. Ndio wakuje ku make sure Kalonzo amerudi nyumbani akuje kutatua maneno ya kisiasa hapa.
Now to matters education, where a network of civil society organizations focusing on quality education has faulted the proposed e-citizen school fees payment procedure, saying it will disadvantage parents who pay fees in diverse forms other than cash, warning that it is a scandal in waiting. The Elimu Bora Working Group urged the government to cease from what they termed as discordant policy pronouncements without involving stakeholders.
A decision to have national schools Pay school fees through the e-citizen platform continues to spark varied views, with the Limobora Working Group, a network of civil society organizations focusing on quality education, pleading on behalf of parents who don't pay school fee in cash.
Do not understand, for instance, that many of the parents are using very diverse modes of making those contributions in the form of fees to the schools. And I think the public have been exposed to such. We've seen cases where parents have arrived in school with goats, with bags of maize, potatoes, and all that, and even firewood, and others have even come in to volunteer labor.
Na pia Limobora tunasema e-citizen itakuja kuwa the next big scandal in the country.
As they punched holes into the education policies, they demanded for establishment of a national education fund that will ensure all students get free and compulsory basic education while enhancing access to tertiary education.
Demand that this regime consolidates all public bursary funds and depoliticize education financing. Public education should be for all, including the vulnerable children.
Despite the constitutional mandate for free and compulsory basic education, over 130 students out of the 1.4 who took the KCPE in 2023 cannot access Form 1 due to financial constraints.
They want the 100% transition policy streamlined to ensure the quality of education is not compromised.
So the concentration is not on quality, it is on transition. And you're saying that when you lose focus and now you just start concentrating on the numbers that we are pushing, all of them, then by the end of it all, we'll not be having people who have gone through school properly, who have acquired the knowledge, the skills, the attitude.
Out of the 899,443 students who took the KCSE in 2023, a staggering 48,174 received a grade E, showing the quality of education is going down.
The lobby group also faulted the government for delays in disbursing the capitation funds to schools.
Parliament allocated 628.6 billion to education in the current financial year. However, the regime failed to release 37% of capitation funds to schools in 2023.
While questioning the rationale of domiciling junior secondary schools in primary schools instead of secondary schools, the group also decried teacher shortage across the country.
Despite the regime's claim of hiring 37,000 teachers, their contractual terms were inequitable. Around 30,000 recruits were brought in as interns for 1 year, which was mysteriously extended for another 1 year.
Serafina Robi for Good Morning Kenya.
Now, a most wanted drug dealer in the Coast region is among 2 suspects arrested in Mtwapa, Kilifi County after being found in possession of 438 rolls of bang. Now, the duo was apprehended in an ongoing crackdown by police officers and the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse.
Kwagoa area in Mtwapa, Kilifi County. A crackdown on illegal narcotics led to the arrest of 2 suspects. Several motorcycles used for the transportation of bang and other illicit substances in the coastal region were impounded during the security operation.
One we suspect is a seller or distributor. The other one we assume is a consumer or user or maybe a conveyor, because he had come to this establishment to buy a roll or 2.
National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse Chief Executive Officer Anthony Omerikwa noted with concern that the consumption of bang has risen in the coastal region.
Indeed, it is very unfortunate that these illegal drugs continue to be distributed amongst our youth and people living around this area.
Mtoto wangu ameanguka wazimu kwa ajili ya madawa ya kulevya. Alikuja, amesomea London University, University, akirudi kwa sababu alikuwa hapa, akaungana na hawa jamaa wa kuuza haya maneno na kilichotokea alianguka wazimu.
Authorities lauded members of the public for cooperating with law enforcers. For KBC Channel 1, I'm Alvin Kaunda.
Thank you, Alvin Kaunda, for that report. Now, former Assistant Inspector General of Police Kingori Mwangi is dead. According to a statement from the family, Kingori passed away on the morning of Sunday, the 11th February, while undergoing treatment at a Nairobi hospital.
The late former Assistant Inspector General of Police Kingori Mwangi has been eulogized as a dedicated man who was always steadfast in his work and a true friend. Kingori served as the Assistant Inspector General of Police until 2018, when he was replaced by Japheth Koome, who is now the Inspector General. Thereafter, the late Kingori moved to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs until his retirement in 2020. He had a long career in the police force, serving as the provincial police officer in Nairobi, Mombasa, and Western regions.
Your colleague who is not here with you was found with the drugs, basically cannabis sativa. That's why he was arrested and placed in custody.
At one time, he was the director of operations at the police headquarters, police spokesman, and director of the Kenya Police Campus in Kiganjo.
So quickly, let's look at sports, where host Ivory Coast are the champions of the 2023. Now to the sad news that we had mentioned earlier, where world marathon record holder Kelvin Kiptum died last night in a road accident along his coach Gervais Hakizimana. Kiptum broke Eliud Kipchoge's record by clocking 2 hours and 35 seconds on his way to winning last year's Chicago Marathon in October. He had been named in Kenya's professional marathon team for the Paris Olympics later this year.
2 hours and we don't even know. It's at 2:47 right now. He hasn't even hit 2:01 yet. He's been behind the finish line for a while. Amazing.
We'll get that official time too.
Lyles fall from the left hand.
Very sad indeed. Condolences once again to the family, and that story brings us to the end of the news this morning. Thank you so much for starting your day with us here on Good Morning Kenya. Remember, Victor is on standby together with our guest in studio to bring you up to speed with the matters politics. My name is Maria Bo. Hope to see you again tomorrow.
这个我就不明白，我是太明白了。怎么着？
利用这个规律，我们降低成本的概率在3.22%左右，并且有可能突破大笔非认无法量产分。现在全部的停机检修已经结束，我宣布，让我们保持一颗追求真理的心，永不放弃。
Itakuaje? Oya, 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 oya.
Auntie akona ka forehand. Akona the mark of quality.
Nataka kumaliza mambo hiyo wedding.
Kwanza kiongea kitu kia Patrick sana. Rosi Paul. Umenimaliza kama chai kwa kikombe.
Zote zimebaki Disemba, Septemba, Oktoba. Wanaona, I know my age wala.
Ni kama tu nikuje nikwambie uko na kichwa kubwa. Sasa makosa si
au sio? Ndio manake. Okay.
Every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Let's talk outside. I'll kill you, you good for nothing. I will kill you. Did you hear me? You didn't only make fools of both my daughters. You also played with the feelings of the woman who's going to be your wife.
Be careful,
Why did
Amador,
you do
he's going
this?
to kill him.
I overcame Rodrigo's betrayal a long time ago, but to know that he deceived me with my own sister, he destroyed my life.
It's for Lucia. I want her to come home to this house. But before that, I need Nora and you to get out of here.
I know that you're the only person who loves me more than anything else in this world.
And please stay, honey. We could all just simply move out together and be happy. We could even...
Dad? What's happening, Dad? 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 Dad! Dad! Dad!
时间的尽头。
这个我就不明白，我是太明白了。怎么着？
利用这个汇率，我们降低成本的概率在3.22%左右，并且有可能突破大米非任务法量产分。现在全部的停机检修已经结束，我宣布，让我们保持一颗追求真理的心，永不放弃。时间的尽头。
Ole matope, kwani kuna maandamano? Bana nicheseaga sana. Toa hizi matakataka hapa. Ndio.
Si utafanya nianguke. Kazi toka.
Matunge.
Ambali.
Sina bugdha wala nukta. Sasa kama mipenzi yangu iko ndani ya my heart, I will be eating in spirit.
We, sivili dine jini.
Sisi already tuko na boyfriends kwa hiyo hoteli, sisi wasichana tuko taken.
Sauri gani nyinyi iko na madharau kiasi hii?
Chema.
Kwenda huko.
Chole sema anaenda kwa bibi. Hii ni Nairobi.
Ndaringa watajua mimi ni nani katika mtandao.
All right, it's now 6 minutes past 7 a.m. Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya. Let's take a look at what we have on the front page of our local dailies. But before that, how about I take you through the traffic situation in the main cities across the country, starting with Nairobi, of course, starting with the capital city here. Yeah, from the look of things, so far, things are not okay as we speak. It's a few minutes past 7 a.m. Let me start with Mombasa Road all the way from Lolongo coming to the CBD. So far, so good. Nothing to report about. Past Next Gen, coming to Nairobi West, there about headed towards, this is Nyayo Stadium, moving pretty fine. That is the entire stretch of Uhuru Highway coming into the CBD. So you either use the expressway or the normal road coming to the CBD. Now, a bit of some traffic as you just behind Nyayo, that is Aerodrome Road, a bit of some traffic there, but that is manageable. Langata Road, pretty fine. Every section of Langata Road is moving very well this morning. So, what from Langata Road? Very good morning to you. How about we take a look at Ngong Road? Ngong Road, a bit of some traffic as you approach the city mortuary roundabout there. And that stretch heading from just outside Daystar University as you head at towards that is DOD roundabout. That's where the traffic is. But after that, it's moving pretty fine. Valley Road all the way into the CBD. So Watua Valley Road and of course Agwins Kodhek. That is the stretch from Yaya Center heading towards Hurlingham. Past that, Kilimani Primary and that side of Gitanga Road moving pretty okay. So nothing much to report about here. Along Ngong Road is a bit of some traffic around the meteorological department there as you come towards the Junction Mall. That's the intersection, the lights there. After that, as you come towards Impala Club, yes, that we have it. But the entire stretch of Ngong Road is also a bit messy towards Adam Saked. And then joining the Ring Road Kilimani, that's the junction headed towards Kibera and Yaya Center. That's where the traffic is. But after that, everything is moving pretty fine. Now, the usual culprit here is Thika Road. Not so okay. Starting from De La Rue, that is outer ring, moving all the way past KCA University, Kenya Utalii Hotel, and coming and converging here at the Muthaiga Square. This is where the traffic situation is. And after that, it moves as you come towards the Muranga Road and ultimately to Globe Roundabout. So Thika Road, not okay. And yes, that spills over to Kiambu Road. We'll have to get a way to get used to this situation. I don't know how. All right, that is just about it. So Limuru Road again, the traffic situation around the City Park Shopping Center is not so good, but you have to be patient. There is no any alternative route. But yes, there you have it. Okay, let's cross over to what we have in Kisumu. Kisumu, good morning. The traffic situation in the Lakeside City, so far so good. Nothing to report about. Kakamega Road coming to Kondele Roundabout and ultimately past Kibuye Market into the CBD, okay. And outbound towards the International Airport, again looking pretty fine. Outbound towards Jamasaria, towards Ahero, nothing to report about. Kisumu, so far so good. Finally, let's cross over to coastal city of Mombasa. Mombasa, good morning. The traffic situation along Nyali Road, again, nothing to report about. I think because it's too early. The entire stretch moving pretty fine. Whatever is here is negligible, so it can be managed. Part of New Nyali Bridge, again, moving fine. But Mombasa today, Muko Sielewi, the only problem here is at the Likoni Ferry Channel, the other side of Likoni and Mombasa. That is where the problem is at the ferry channel. Patience is a virtue. Let's practice it. Okay. Makupa, all the way from Changamwe, coming into the CBD, moving very well. All right. That is as far as the traffic situation is concerned. Okay. How about we take a look at what we have on the front page of Local Daily, starting with the People Daily. But before that, Deputy Governor, Machakos County, Francis Mongangi is already in studio. DG, good morning and good to see you.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Our neighbors, wako salama?
Salama kabisa. Yes.
Mwatushindia nini huko?
A lot of things.
Yes.
Within the metropolitan, that is one.
Yes.
Although a challenge in terms of transport, but one side a challenge, another side efficient, effective. I'm talking about Mombasa Road towards Machakos, where there is a lot of challenge, you know, between Nairobi and Tala, Kangundo, those areas. So those are a little bit of what is happening there, but also a good environment for investment.
Machakos?
Yes.
I see what you're trying to do there.
Yes.
You're free. Go ahead.
You know, we have land,
right,
where multinationals, even locals, even internationals, can come and invest in our great county. So there's a lot of good things. The proximity of the capital, the fact that we have highways passing through that region, the fact that we have a sustainable source of electricity, the fact that we can easily access waterways at the coastal region, makes it favorable for any serious investor. Even an organization that is there that wants to expand, makes it attractive.
There's no difference between going to Naivasha and going to Machakos.
There's a lot of difference.
What do you mean?
A lot. When you go to Naivasha, you are going away from the coastal region, where you can access international market easily. But there is one thing I will say. Every part of this country has its own weaknesses and strengths. And that is, especially the strength, is where we need to exploit. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. There is what is good in Naivasha, which is not available in Machakos, and there is
one thing
that
about
which...
Machakos is the fresh air.
Yes.
I agree.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at what we have on the front page of the People Daily. Churches, how Ruto duped us. This is what you have on the front page of the People Daily. I hope you have your copy there, DG. Churches, how Ruto duped us. This is on the front page of the People Daily. Is it a case of deal gone sour? clergy who backed Kenya Kwanza entered an MOU with a candidate which would have seen them reap big after victory, but claim head of state no longer takes their calls. This is what you have on the front page of the People Daily. According to the paper here, there are some of the promises to the clergy. And one of the promises was that there was to be an appointment to commissions, state corporations, foreign missions, missions, cabinet boards, and committees of national and county governments. Number 2, there was a promise to nominate to National Assembly, Senate, and county assemblies access to government support and resources. Number 4, yes, according to them, there was a promise to have tax waivers and exemptions, formation of clergy circle for empowerment of ministers of gospel, and also formation of quote-unquote registrar of religious organizations, delinking from the registrar of societies. Last but not least, formation of cabinet docket for Ministry of National Guidance and Religious Affairs. And finally, there was to be a facilitation of formation of chaplaincy, mediation and arbitration. These are just but the promises that are highlighted here as part of the promises which were made to the clergy by the Kenya Kwanza. So is it a case of a deal gone sour? See the churches here, we have it here. Churches, how Ruto dipped us. Is it? That's on the front page. Here again, queries after anti-graft magistrate transferred. That is Eunice Nyutu. Queries after anti-graft magistrates transferred. Experts raise red flag over education policies. This is on the front page of the People Daily. Lobby questions the rush to implement e-citizen payment and Munavu team university funding model and JSS. This is how it happens. And now, again, a case of curtain falls on former officer, that is Kingori Mwangi, who passed on Sunday in what the family say was surgery complication. So this is what we have here on the front page of the People Daily. All right, so let me start with you, DG, on the front page as usual. Churches, how Ruto duped us. What do you make of this headline?
It's only a shoe where who knows where it pinches most. I wasn't aware of an agreement with them, but I think in the last election that President William Ruto was really backed by churches. Now that maybe there was something that they had agreed, which I don't know. If at all there was something they had agreed, I think it is good when you always remain truthful to what you have committed yourself to. But sometimes we tend to think simply because one is being supported, maybe there was an agreement. If there was an agreement, it is good if it is fulfilled.
Yeah.
If there wasn't, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
Yes,
all right.
because we know in Kenya today, any political agreement, any agreement you make, sometimes it is made illegal by being deposited in certain state institutions. So if this one wasn't, and it was a verbal agreement or it was something written, I think the president should take his time and fulfill what they agreed.
Yeah.
That is what I would say.
Absolutely.
Because by the way, it is a contract of 5 years. And if God is gracious enough to one, the voters will add you another one. But after that, you will go back to the same people whom you either worked well with, or you oppressed, or you worked together to transform the country. So in this case, when it comes to churches or our religious organizations in this country, I think it is good when we are honest, when we are truthful, and when we commit to fulfill anything that might have been agreed upon. Yes.
All right. Also, Winnie Kaburu is already in studio. Winnie Kaburu is a political analyst and a governance expert. Winnie, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Good morning.
Karibu sana. We are just taking a look at what you have on the front page of the People Daily here, where now the churches now accusing the government of duping them. Churches, how Ruto duped us? What do you make of this? We've been here and we really saw what happened, and now churches are coming out to say they've been duped. What do you make of this headline, Winnie?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is interesting because this is what Kenyans are talking about. When you have been in elections twice, actually, 2013 and 2017, and in politics, when you are campaigning, you say all good things to people. And after campaign, reality strikes. And what is happening now in Kenya, in the government of the present President Ruto, is that reality has struck. And all the promises are going down the drain. Fortunately, he has got 5 years to fulfill. But it looks like he is putting everything in 1 year. Taxes have gone up, everything is like all what he is supposed to do in 5 years, he wants to do it in 1 year. I think that is the problem which we really have right now. And the Kenyans are not patient because they don't have to be patient when they can't eat, they can't drink, their children can't go to school. Their life has been turned upside down. And anybody whose life is turned upside down is a bitter person or a bitter human being. And it's high time now, Ruto, the President Ruto, our present president, and his advisors went back to the drawing board. And it changed all what they are doing right now because it is not good. It's not good even for the people who supported him. The churches supported him because he was the man of God. And the other one was a drunkard. And the Kenyans somehow bought that. So this drunkard is better than the man of God according to what is happening right now.
What do you mean, Winnie?
What I mean is that during the campaign...
In what context?
During the campaign, it's a fact. It's not Winnie who is saying this. It's a fact. We were told in churches we want to elect the man of God. And the man of God was the present president. And the other one was supposed to be the drunkard. But unfortunately or fortunately, the drunkard was doing much better than this man of God. So I am a Christian. And I feel also, I didn't vote to I was a Simeo. So I can't lie, I was supporting the present government. But it's the present government. So whatever happens, whatever laws which are there, I am part of this country and I'm in this country. So it's affecting me directly or indirectly. And what is happening now is that everybody is up in arms to fight whatever we are feeling is unfair. And to me, because I have to live here for another 5 years with this new government, is that let them go back to the drawing board and see what is wrong. Because people can't be crying day in and day out if there's nothing which is biting them. And you see, especially the taxes. Life has become so expensive. Now the children are not going to school because they can't afford to pay the school fees. If your children are going to school, your grandchildren are going to school, and they can't go to school, even if you supported this government, you would feel like supporting them anymore. If you are going to the supermarket and buying something which was costing you 2,000 and now 5,000 even can't fill a basket, it doesn't matter if you are supporting a Simeo or Kenya Puisha or wherever.
Kenya Kwanza.
Kenya Kwanza, sorry. And now, that is unfortunate because we buy them bread the same price, we buy unga the same price, so whoever even was supporting is feeling the pinch. And to me, my advice is that go back and retrace the steps and see where it's biting Kenyans. And that is why the churches are not as comfortable as before. They are not as popular as before. Whatever advice they give today is kind of not being taken seriously.
Very well. Mwathi Reri is also in studio. Mwathi, good morning.
Morning.
It's been a while. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing fine.
Taking a look at what's from the front page of the People Daily here. Is it a case of a deal gone south? So the clergy who backed Kenya Kwanza entered an MOU with candidate, which would have seen them rip big after victory, but claim head of state no longer takes their calls. What do you make of this? There are so many promises which were apparently or allegedly made by the candidate then who is now the president, and they're here outlined. But is it something, what do you make of this? I almost asked the question, and I hope DJ is a politician and probably would have not liked that question. Go ahead.
True. Actually, the truth of the matter is that the churches or religious organizations are supposed to give directions. And in most cases, these organizations or these leaders, religious leaders, are kind of trusted by the followers or by the voters or by Mwananchi, because it's like whatever the religious leader, whatever my bishop, whatever my pastor, whatever my imam, if I'm a Muslim, whatever he is telling me, that's supposed to be the truth. The current government used that as an avenue of them gaining confidence from the public. And actually, these leaders went in full throttle to kind of tell their followers that this is the person, this is the government, which will just do good to us, or which will bring good things into this country. They went further and even criticized the other side and told them these people are ABCD, they are not good. So because of that, that's one of the reasons as to why actually the Kenya Kwanza government took over, or rather their win was somehow easy. But the problem now comes when these people who lead it, are trusted by their followers, and their followers are not seeing exactly what they were telling them at that particular time. There's also a risk of now the followers starting to question these leaders. What did you tell us? What are we seeing? Can you intervene on our behalf? Unfortunately, they are saying that the glue that was there in between them, or rather the kind of good relationship which was there, it's no longer there. So the followers are telling them, can you intervene on our behalf? But they can't reach the people who were so close in churches and in everything. So it's like the church leaders are between a rock and a hard place.
Yes.
So by now, I think it's the high time that the government speaks the truth. If there's anything that they are doing, they should be able to. The guru that was there in between them and these church leaders, I think they should not just disappear like that. They should tell the same leaders, they should use the same leaders to go to the followers and tell them what is actually happening, because that silence is not good. When that touch is not there, then it means that the touch between the Wananchi and the government is getting worse, and it's not good for the government.
It's not good for the government?
Yes.
All right. All right, so that's what we have here, and we all know this is Kingori Mwangi. He was a former police officer, or DG, maybe. You had an interaction with him at some point. We all know his work, and he passed on yesterday, and of course, this is where we have ex-police chief Kingori dies in City after illness. The story says that the one-time senior cop died while undergoing treatment. His family announced yesterday, and here he is. He was at some point provisional police officer in Mombasa, Nairobi, and Western regions in the course of his career. So we're still waiting for more confirmation and more info as far as this is concerned. He was a former senior police officer, Zachary Kingori, who died yesterday in a city hospital. The officer served in various capacities in the service, including the police spokesperson, provincial police officer in Nairobi, Mombasa, and Western regions, director of operations at police headquarters, principal assistant to the deputy inspector general of Kenya Police College, as well in Kiganjo. So, yes, grace to the affected families. And gentlemen and lady, we're also waking up to a sad story of Kelvin Kiptum, world record holder who died last night in a road accident. He was ahead of Eliud Kipchoge in last year's marathon. So he also passed on yesterday night at the age of 24. That is a star that was starting to rise for our country, and yeah, we say we cannot control certain things. DG, maybe your word of condolence, because that's our record holder.
First, to the families of bereaved, I want to send my commiserations to them and say, I think the officers in the service, in the National Police Service, should emulate the good work and the skills that Kingori Mwangi applied during his tenure as in various capacities, as you have indicated there. Now, we need to learn the good things. The bad ones, we need to use them to learn how to avoid them, so that we can have efficient, effective National Police Service. But to the family, to friends, poleni sana. To the marathoner who passed on yesterday night, to the families as well, poleni sana, and all other Kenyans who have been bereaved. By the way, I also lost my mom-in-law, wife to the former long-serving Kenya National Union of Teachers National Treasurer, Peter Mutulu. And then I say condolences, because we are told we will go to heaven, and the only way to heaven is through death. But we fear death as human beings. So the bereaved families, poleni sana.
Right. I'll come back to you, Winnie and Mwathi, but first of all, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
你根本就不明白。我是太明白了。怎么着？
利用这个汇率，我们降低成本的概率在3.22%左右，并且有可能突破大米非认法量产分。现在全部的停机检修已经结束，我宣布，让我们保持一颗追求真理的心，永不放弃。时间的尽头。
All right, we are still taking a look at what we have on the front page, but in the spirit of patriotism, this is the picture of Kelvin Kiptum, just 24 years old. He was born in 1999 and died in 2024, 24 years old. So, yes, he died last night in a road accident, and maybe, Winnie, maybe give you a moment of seconds to pay tribute to our compatriot.
I really feel so bad to see a young person dying, because, you know, that is the future. And he was doing very well. And so many young people are dying of late. This one being accident, there have been so many women who have been killed, and you don't understand what's going on. Every time you open the newspaper or listen to news, it's about the deaths of young people.
Yeah.
I think it's high time we looked and seen, for example, this is a young person who was doing very well, dies in an accident. Is it our roads which have the problem? Is it the way they drive? Is it the traffic laws which are not being observed? There must be something, and there is a need to check and check actually the real reason why these young people are dying. Women, we understand they are being killed left, right, and center. And nobody is really, the government should have been the first to check on this, because these are very young people. So my condolences to the family and to Kenyans, because this was a Kenyan who was shining.
Yeah.
To all the Kenyans and the young people and the families, I am sorry. May God keep his in eternal peace.
As you do that, this is a picture of the wreckage of the accident. This is what happened. It's reported that the vehicle he veered off the road and the vehicle hit a pole. Last night he was driving together with his coach, who is Randis, and they all perished. And it's all reported that another passenger who was seated at the back seat survived the accident and was rushed to the hospital. So this is the scene, and of course you can see police officers there at the scene of what happened last night. Yes, you ready?
Actually, this is not a loss only to the family, it's also a loss to the whole nation and the world at large, simply because Kenya is a sporting nation and we are known for especially the long distances. And this is somebody who was very promising.
Yeah.
We were almost certain that after Kipchoge hung their boots, we knew that this young man was coming. And now it's a loss to the whole nation. Pray to the family, my condolences to the family, also to the family of Kingori Mwangi. Some of us who are in Nairobi, because they know what the march has done, and it's a lesson that even the security men should learn actually from the good that he did. So my condolences and the condolences.
And of course, even too, DG, thank you, and condolences to you for losing your loved one, your mother-in-law, and may you have grace. All right. Let's cross over to what we have on the front page of the Standard now. The Standard says that tough choices in the face of crisis. Tough choices in the face of crisis. Tomorrow, Parliament returns from its December recess to a defining moment. This is what we have here. The courts have said that the reconstitution of IBC must continue and not wait for political horse trading. House to debate the National Dialogue report. Even as Azimio leader, Raila Odinga has said that opposition must be involved in the selection of commissioners, or they resume demonstration. Is it a Solomonic moment for Speaker Moses Wetangula? We all know what happened, and here we have got President William Ruto, Moses Wetangula as the Speaker, and Azimio leader Raila Odinga. Defining moment for the Speaker. As you correctly said, Mwathi, he's in a straitjacket between a rock and a hard place. So what are we looking at this particular moment? DG, we have a tough choice for Parliament, and of course we have got courts on this other end, we have got Parliament on this other end. A lot in tray for Parliament as resume tomorrow. DG?
You know, we are at a very defining moment as a country.
Yes.
This is because when you have two political formations that you can say across the republic, the only difference was less than 200,000 votes of the winner and the one who lost. That is very delicate. When dealing with the political matters, you have to know you have a 50-50, almost a 50-50 scenario. 50% of the country may be leaning towards those who won, and also almost 50% leaning towards the other side. Now, I would prefer our Parliament to be an institution that will come in and first and foremost uphold the rule of law.
Right.
First and foremost, because that is what will hold this country together. Number two, we need not to see partisan leaders advancing interests of a particular political formation. I would love to see parliament, because when you are in parliament, you are either in a majority or minority. And in parliament, there is no one you can say this one is on that side or this side. We have one national parliament. Right. I would wish they put the interest of the country first. The issue of IEBC is very critical. We cannot wish it away, because this is the rivalry of the next election. I would wish we build on what we have achieved so far as a country, so that in the very near future, we continue building on what we have, strengthening our institutions, so that we have more, better, free and fair elections in future. That will not be that highly contested outcome. Now, finally, we have seen the way some policies are hurting this country. I call upon our parliament, as they resume, to look at some of these challenges, because Kenyans are really suffering currently. You do not have to force your wish, whether as a political entity. It must have, we have a constitution that dictates anything you do as a county government, anything you do as a county agency, anything you do as a national government or national government agency. Please involve Kenyans through public engagement, public participation. I think our parliament should ensure they follow that dictates of the constitution, and ensure anything that is implemented in this country, anything that is done in this country, it is to the interest of Kenyans. It is to the interest of the country. I
love the way you put it, but look at it this way. Perhaps Winnie can also contribute on this one, because we have got an ADCO report which is supposed to be tabled, and debated in Parliament as they resume. And the court says now we cannot wait for political horse trading to elect leaders. We all know there are so many wards across the country and Banisa constituency lacking that super representation. So what should we do? Courts or the NADCO report? That's now where we see this gentleman here, who is said to be now should have that Solomonic wisdom. At this particular point, where is he going to strike the balance? Winnie?
Yeah, thank you. I am a political student, and in politics there are always interests, and politics is a game of numbers. Right now what we're having in Kenya is a competition of politicians, and the politicians, some who have been bought. Our parliament is bought. It's not free the way it used to be. We used to witness the real debate in parliament, with reasons. Today there are no reasons. Laws are passed against the constitution, which is, which is the worst thing which can ever happen in a country. Even if I'm in opposition or in the government, whatever passes and the law passes and whatever happens affects me as a person. And that's what Kenyans are forgetting, that government is there for a season. But the things which happen within that 5 years affect everybody, even children who are not born today. For example, if we are going to have elections, right now we don't have an IBC. There have been so many MCAs, MPs who should be either going back to elections. Some have died, others have, so many things have happened. And nothing is happening because there is nothing happening. And now choosing the new ones, the speaker is supposed to have Solomon wisdom. Because if we support the government where he is now serving, it will be against everybody in Kenya. If they go to court, we have known what is happening in courts. Nothing is being accepted, nothing is being, taken as law. So with the Chacha scenario, I'm not seeing Kenyans sitting pretty and saying it's okay, let's go on.
Okay.
So we are going to wait to see so many oppositions coming, either people inside the government and outside the government. whichever way we look at it, it's going to be a tough war.
A tough war.
Yeah.
Irene.
Yes, it is really, it will really be tough, but as a governance expert, I would tend to differ with the DG slightly. Once there is a competition and there is a winner, maybe we should adapt to the issue of let the winner do his part and let the loser do the part of maybe what he's supposed to do.
Right.
There's a government and there's the majority and minority. Maybe that's one of the reasons as to why in our constitution, even in parliament, we tend to, our new constitution, our 2010 constitution took off the issue of opposition and adopted the minority and majority, simply because each and everyone has its own law to pray. Why do we keep on saying the margin was small when it comes to political competition? Yet, when it comes to other competitions, when it comes to soccer, whoever wins, irrespective of how he wins, that is the winner. When it comes to athletics, we know at one time when our own Paul Terregat was defeated just by, they were saying it's like a thickness of a t-shirt, but he was number 2.
A defeat is a defeat.
A defeat is a defeat. So there's no way we will keep saying the margin was small. So if the margin was small, take that advantage and become a stronger minority. So that's an advantage you should take advantage of. Become a stronger minority to watch the government. So we have a government in place which won. If you are saying it did not won, it won, and then we went to court, and the court ruled that there is a government in place. So what we are supposed to, this debate of the margin was small, I don't buy it myself.
Okay.
And when it comes now to what is happening, I also don't agree that what is happening in the court. The court, we should go back and ask, why are these rulings going in this direction? Because the courts are not saying per se that the housing project is bad, all the rulings that they are doing. Most of the times they are working, what they are doubting, or what they are saying is not right, is the process. Before coming to this, did you engage the people? Did you conduct the public participation? If the process was wrong, then they say, no, this is wrong. You should go back at, ratify, and streamline. Take the due process. Yes. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When it comes now to the IEBC, just remember that there are some areas which do not have representation for almost a year now. Those people are suffering. We should not let them suffer like that. Just remember that our constitution stipulates very clearly that between 8 and 12 years, there should be boundaries review. Who should do this? It's the Electoral Commission.
That is coming up in March.
It's coming up in March.
Right.
So the process had already started. There was even the advertisement. This should have been going on. Even if we have the commissioners in place right now, they cannot beat that deadline.
Okay.
We have to go back now to...
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. All right, let's cross over and see what's happening here on the front page of the Daily Nation, again here. Inside fight for control of 435 billion shillings. This is between the teachers, the TSC, and of course the Ministry of Education. Ministry wants to supervise schools, managers spending billions. 365,000 teachers not exclusively answerable to commission, tussling over 1.3 billion shillings training of CBC teachers. Again, this is a commission sidestepped ministry to draft bill. Bill undermines proposals by presidential task force, and again, who will submit proposed law to cabinet? And finally, TSC demands powerful regional and county offices. So that is where we have the Education Ministry and unions have ganged up against the Teacher Service Commission. The battle lines are drawn between the warring factions under Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu and TSC boss Nancy Macharia. And it's a fierce kind of scramble for a huge education budget. This is what's here. Remember, NAT snubbed a meeting last week, which was supposed to be bringing stakeholders together with TSC, Ministry of Education, etc., etc. NAT did not attend that meeting. So what is happening here? For control for 435 billion shillings, that's a lot of money in the Ministry of Education. DG?
Thank you. But before I go there, allow me to say, there is a term I hear people talk about, context.
Yes.
It is on record that the government has not once, not twice, failed to follow court decisions. That has led to national outcry, including Law Society of Kenya, going out to demonstrate. It is in that context, I said, when you have an election that is perceived to have been contested, if one side says we go out and demonstrate, we have seen how they have come out in large numbers.
Yes.
I have an advantage of having been previously being a lawmaker in our national parliament. I'm not sure my friend could have had such a kind of engagement. I don't know if he has ever been any of them. If we go by his sentiments, he is among the guys who will burn this country within a minute. Viewers should not take those sentiments expressed here. Because when you say we have this and we have to move, and you chest thump, remember we are in a democratic society, not autocratic. If you want to implement those kind of things, go to autocratic countries where one person makes decision on behalf of the masses. Not in Kenya, where we have democratic governance. So in this case, it is out of this, I said, it is good when leaders consult when it comes to decision making of a country. I did not say simply because it was so closely contested, people should do, no, nobody is interested in those things. So in this case, it is good we consult as a country. And it is also good, even at county level, anything we do, subject it to the masses that you lead.
So what
that is the point.
What takes precedence? We have NADCO report, and we have a court case, court ruling that continue. We do not have this
court ruling.
Political horse trading.
Court rulings must be adhered to. Number two, as we navigate to adhere to court decisions, it is also very important we see what does our constitution say. It is in that constitution we say any public policy you implement in this country, please subject it to Kenyans. We have seen before, not even in this administration, since we got 2010 constitution, anything that either county or national government has done without consulting Kenyans, whenever it goes to any judge in this country, we have seen it being reverted back and being told go and ensure public participation, then implement what you want to implement. So that is what I was saying. Rule of law being adhered to, as far as our administrators and their policies and their whatever they are implementing is concerned. To the question of the battle of billions.
Just before you get there, I'll also have a question for Red, because you are battling to what there.
Yes.
So we have a situation where now, Winnie, I know you are now torn in between the two gentlemen. But
yeah, I just actually wanted to.
I'll come back to you. But Mwathi, we have Kenyans went to the streets. Opposition had their word. And we had a National Dialogue Committee, which was, sitting there at the Bomas of Kenya. They had the recommendations. And one of the recommendations was to have these commissioners selected. And there was a requirement on how that was supposed to be done. People coming from different pressure groups. We had law society, religious organizations, etc., etc. But then now, The NADCO report is supposed to be tabled either tomorrow or any day, a day after the court, Parliament resumes. So now the question is, which one takes precedence? The court ruling came later after Parliament received the report and they are ready to table it for discussion and for debate. So do you think the court ought to have waited for the Parliament to debate or not? Somebody would ask, where was the court before the NADCO report or before the BOMAS discussion that brought up this report to Parliament?
Thank you. The truth of the matter is we should do things which are good for the mwananchi or for the country, not which are good for politicians, either in the opposition or in the government. What do I mean? The public or the Kenyan government or the mwananchi would have wanted these commissioners in power yesterday, not even today. They are not in power now.
Reasons why NADCO, that dialogue
now,
committee was at
that's
the
was
to come up with this.
That's
right?
why I'm coming.
Go ahead.
Now, there was already a process. There was already a body in place to vet these people. And the NADCO came, the negotiations, and they came up with their findings and what is to be done. There comes now the court ruling. I think we can merge the two, and it is possible. Because what the court is saying is these commissioners should be in office as soon as possible. That is what the court is actually saying. Now, there is a report which has agreed on some issues, one of them being the constitution of this body. So it will not take time for them to now bring, or rather, go and come up with the people. They wanted to add instead of 7 to 9. So there are only 2 whom they are adding. It is possible, after this is in Parliament,
yes,
it is possible to bring the 2, and then the process continues. I don't see it being difficult or push and pull.
I don't think that's what Azimio or the NADCO report really wanted. Because the court said that the commission, the way it was proposed by the Kenya Kwanza, should continue as it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Without the NADCO report.
The NADCO report,
yes,
said that these people should be increased from 7 to 9. True? It didn't say that the LSK should not bring its person, the religious organization not, and all other bodies. It didn't say that. So it's a matter of making this body more stronger. That is the issue.
Okay.
How do we make it stronger? By adding the 2. Where will the 2 come from?
I doubt if that's what Azimio is talking about.
Because if that's not what Azimio is saying, and that's why he started by saying we should do what is good for the country, and not what is good for...
And what is good for the country, in response to what DG said, was the NADCO report recommended that they should have 9 people, as agreed between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. Right?
Yes.
The court says that the report should continue. The selection panel should continue before the original proposal, and which was floated by Kenya Kwanza.
And the NADCO did not say that the LSK should not bring their person. It didn't say the religious organizations should not bring there.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, we are not overhauling the whole thing afresh. Maybe what the Azimio should say is the person brought by the LSK is maybe it's not the right person. If that is the issue, then go back to LSK and bring the right person. If maybe they think LSK was manipulated to bring the wrong person. But at the end of the day, it is a matter of addition of the 2. We can take that direction. They can take that direction to merge between the court and the report which is in Parliament. That is the best direction.
I don't think it's about the person. Right. It's not what Azimio is talking about. Yes. It's not about the person. It's the process, because as Ndiji says, in a democratic country, you can't just say I have said this is right. You have to agree. You have to consult. And that is a problem in Kenya today, because people don't want to look at the laws. They want to say, this is what I want, and it is going to happen. In this case, what the court is saying, what Azimio is saying is this: these are not the right people in the right way we wanted it done. Let's sit back again and choose the people, and so that when the elections come, we are comfortable with it. Because that is why we're having fights everywhere.
Yeah.
From the schools to the health care to the counties. It's because people want to force things. I grew up in university when we had Moi as our president, and we had the communist power, and we were on the streets, and we were fighting for what we want. It's not about right and wrong, it's what is good for everyone. And we participated, and we did so many things. It's what is coming again in Kenya today, where people are being put food in the, nothing, water in the throat, in the mouth, and don't swallow. That is food.
Okay.
And you want people to sit down and agree to it. I disagree that the problem of Asimio on this is of individuals. No,
Okay,
it's not
let's take a
about
break.
individuals.
That is our discussion. That is forming our discussion next. If we come back after this break, please stay with us.
Let go of me! I'll kill you, you good for nothing! I will kill you! Did you hear me? You didn't only make fools of both my daughters. You also played with the feelings of the woman who's going to be your wife.
Be careful,
Why did
Amador,
you do
he's going
this?
to kill him. I overcame Rodrigo's betrayal a long time ago, but to know that he deceived me with my own sister, he destroyed my life.
It's for Lucia. I want her to come home to this house. But before that, I need Nora and you to get out of here.
I know that you're the only person who loves me more than anything else in this world.
Please stay, honey. We could all just simply move out together and be happy. We could even...
Dad? What's happening, Dad? 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 Dad! Dad! Dad!
Ole matope, kwani kuna maandamano? Bana nicheseaga sana. Toa hizi matakataka hapa.
Ndio.
Sisi utabanya nianguje.
Matunge. Sina bugdha wala nokta. Sasa kama mipenzi yangu iko ndani ya my heart, I will be eating in spirit.
We, sivili dine jini.
Sisi already tuko na boyfriends kwa hiyo hoteli, sisi wasichana tuko taken.
Sauri gani nyinyi iko na madharau kiasi hii?
Chema.
Kwenda huko.
Chole sema anaenda kwa bibi. Hii ni Nairobi.
Ndaringa watajua mimi ni nani katika mtandao.
Itakuaje? Oya. Auntie akona ka forehead. Akona the mark of quality.
Ameke wrong dinel am shetan over.
Nataka kumaliza mambo hiyo wedding.
Kwanza kiongea kitu kiambia diriki sana. Rosi Paul. Umenimaliza kama chai kwa kikombe. Zote zimebaki Disemba, Septemba, Oktoba.
Wanaona, ni kama tu nikuje nikwambie uko na kichwa kubwa. Sasa makosa si
au sio? Ndio manake. Okay.
Every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
So this is what's happening here, and this is forming a part of discussion. Before I took a break, Winnie, you wanted to say something. I have to come back to TG. Now, it's on the front page, again, inner pages. This is a discussion. Ruth Raila comes in fresh war over new IBC official. Director, perhaps if you have that story, you can play so that we have a background check on what's really happening here.
Detailed statutes or laws, legislative proposals that will enable us to constitute a new panel that will recruit IBC commissioners. The only point of divergence we have with our colleagues, in the laws that we proposed, there is not a single provision in the law that President William Ruto must consult anybody in appointing either the panel or the commissioners of IBC. President William Ruto must follow the law as it is established or as it will be established by Parliament. Wakati tuliketi chini kwenye ile komiti ya National Dialogue Committee, tulikaa chini na tukakubaliana na tukasema tutapeleka sheria bunge, na hiyo sheria iko tayari. Tuanze debate wakati tunarudi bunge wiki hii, tupitishe sheria, alafu tupitishe tupatie wa Kenya IBC.
So there is that fresh battle to reconstitute IBC. DG, what do you make of that? That is leaders in Kenya Kwanza.
We follow the very fast look at the National Dialogue Committee report, then maybe pass it as the good Kericho Senator is saying, then we go ahead and recruit our IEBC commissioners. However, I have also, that raises another question. There is this ruling of the court, and I was asking myself, how did it happen? You know, the court is responding to a Kenyan who is saying, we have had for quite a while now some areas in this country without representation. So our national parliament, in my view, I think should look at the electoral laws in this country and maybe change certain provisions so that in future, in the event we do not have commissioners, maybe certain agencies in this country can be allowed to proceed and supervise the election. Or we do it in a way that if it is whichever, other than the presidential election, the rest of the positions, maybe even without commissioners, the managers within IBC can oversee this. Yeah. Because it is very sad that we have had almost going for months without some wards, without anyone to represent them. In this country, you know, if President Ruto resigned now, the law dictates, even without consulting Kenyans, we move very fast, ensure the deputy president takes oath of office, and we announce to Kenyans that the president has resigned, or for one reason or the other is unable to prosecute his duties. But already we do not anticipate any vacuum. So we are being very unfair to those areas, whether wards or constituencies, who are going without persons to defend them in their respective assemblies, whether those regional assemblies or at national level. So in this case, I think we need to operate in a way that this process of presentation does not wait until certain people are in the office. Yes, I think Parliament should look at the Elections Act and maybe change so that we ensure the same way at national level we cannot have a vacuum in the presidency. It's the same way everywhere, because these are the same voters who voted for that higher office. Yeah. Yes.
Basically, it's now a rock and a hard place, Winnie. It's time for Wetangula he's in a straight jacket, so to speak. We have got a court report here, a court ruling, and a NADCO report, which is actively being awaited. That is why, perhaps if you ask me, Kenyan stops going on the street because of that report.
I can tell you for sure.
Yes.
If the Speaker, Wetangula, doesn't sit down and actually rule well on this one, we are going to have a very rough time in Kenya. Why? Because when the commission, the meeting was done being chaired by His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka,
Yes.
who is a very, very sober person. And all these people are lawyers, okay? Majority of the people right now in government are lawyers. And whatever they pass, they have already looked at the law itself.
Yes.
And they agreed. This is the way we are going to go. And they are taking this report to Parliament. I feel, and I'm giving my personal advice, let them follow what they agreed at Bomas.
At the NADCO, okay.
Yes, that is the only thing which will save this country. Because if we go by, oh, this is not going to happen, what I can hear the Unda people talking, that the president has got the power to choose whoever he chooses. I think that's not what is in the Constitution. And if it was, then why didn't they have to have all those months of arguing and, commenting and agreeing and disagreeing, if that is the way it was supposed to be? So really to save this country out of agony and out of what even the DJ is talking about, people not being presented because their MCAs or their MPs are not in office, let's just be sober for once and say, fine, we are all Kenyans and we can't all be ruling at the same time. Let some people come down from the high places and they know that this Kenya is not for shareholders, it's for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what the recommendation, at a glance. Mwathi, the recommendations at the NADCO report says that the NADCO report recommended the establishment of an expanded selection panel comprising here 2 Public Service Commission nominees, all right, 2 Public Service Commission nominees, 3 by political parties, liaison committee, and 1 person from a party other than a parliamentary party. Then again, others will be 1 person each from the majority and minority parties, Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya and Law Society of Kenya, while the Interreligious Council of Kenya will not nominate 2 people. So this is what is here, the NADCO report, and this is what's supposed to be debated in Parliament. It did not say that Azimio to only bring 2 people in the report. All right, an expanded selection panel. So which means the initial panel which was instituted was to be scrapped, and then now a new selection panel to be brought on board. What do you make of this? So we have this report in Parliament and we have a court ruling.
That's true. I belong to a school of thought that says we should not disobey court orders.
All right.
From the start. So we should not disobey court orders. So what the court has ruled should take presidency. However, let us not forget where we are. Let us also remember, before reaching this level, we know there was a time when this body was being selected by political parties. Opposition bring this number, government bring this number. We know what happened those days. What happened was, if you have been brought into this commission by the government, you are studying by the government, irrespective of what the government is saying or doing. If you are from the opposition, you study by the opposition, irrespective of the whatever is there, is on the table, is favorable for the government or for the opposition. You start. So there was no harmony, and that is why we metamorphosized from that state now to come and bring other bodies. And I'm happy of the report. They are not saying, they are not kicking the religious organizations away. They are not kicking the Royal Society of Kenya away. What there is they are beefing it up or making it better, which is good, because the Constitution is a living document. It's not, we should not be stuck or be still at one place. So what should happen is also look at the disadvantaged electoral areas. Look at constituencies which are big population, like Iloilo, for example. They are waiting for this body to come and at least see what they can do to ensure that there is equity. Look at some wards. I come from a ward, from a constituency, from a county which has a ward which is bigger than other 4 combined. One ward bigger than some 4 wards somewhere, both in area, in population, in voter registration. These people have suffered for 15 years, since 2010 and now, as we go to the next election. They require this body to come as quickly as possible. Also, let us lower our temperatures. And you know that what is at stake is not the commission that will work on there. It is the panel that will vet this. So, because the way the temperatures are, is like this body will be the decision maker, or rather, these are the commissioners. No, we have not yet reached at the level of commissioners. Where we are is the panel,
the selection panel.
The panel that will vet the commissioners. And there's a process which now this panel will take. They will advertise just like the others have done. And if in case the panel has a problem, I'm sure all these people brought by all these bodies cannot all be problematic. It's a whole panel of 9.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we should extend this process as much as possible, considering the court ruling.
All right.
The court ruling should carry the day.
Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka was a co-chair.
Yes.
A brilliant mind.
Yeah.
Do you think, together with Kimani Ichung'wah, another brilliant mind, do you think they erred in coming up with this recommendation together with the NADCO team members? Do you think they made a mistake?
I think my own view is that they wanted to have a win-win situation.
Very good.
Irrespective of whether it's good for the country or not. You remember both parties had brought their issues on the table.
Yes.
Then to take some here.
Yes.
So I think that we would have gotten something better than that if they did not want to balance, take from this side and this side. To me, they would have come up with a process that will not stagnate or take us back too far.
Okay.
Just ensuring or knowing the state we are at.
Winnie is not amused by your statement.
Actually, I'm just lost because if you say these representatives of people wanted a win-win situation, I thought that's what we all want, win-win situation. We don't want to fight. We don't want to go to court. We go to court because it's the only way left. But if we can have that imbalancing of win-win, everybody in Kenya wants that. You have said a very good thing. Win-win situation. And that's what Kalonzo and his group did. They gave us a win-win situation. So why can't we run with it? Why are you saying that the court should take the... I'm surprised. Anyway,
Okay.
I think
I'll give you a break. I'll give you a break. But DG, let's look at it this way, holistically. A situation comes now, that report will be in Parliament. Both sides will debate it and see the merits and how they go about it. I can take it this way. The selection panel, the entire commission will be as good as the selection panel.
Yes.
Because even that process of selecting the commissioners will also be, some kind of a discussion somewhere. I don't know where and how it will happen, but the commissioners will be as good as the selection panel, of which the NADCO report also say, you guys go ahead, because this is a political process, pick your selection panel as you deem fit. So what if somebody says, court, ngoja kidogo, we have a NADCO report, we need to debate on this, and then if we don't agree, then the courts can now come in and interpret this for us.
Yeah.
So where will we find ourselves as a country? DG?
First point of correction. The National Dialogue Committee and Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah and His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka listened to various interests across the country. They sat in Bomas. That's why they took long listening to anyone who had anything to do, to say about whatever was happening in the country that time. We need as a country to ask ourselves, how did we arrive at this team at Bomas? So going forward, I think implementation of NADCO committee is very critical. And it is on the basis, there is a mischief here which we need to cure. And that is what Kenyans went to court to address. the issue of non-representation, delayed, okay? Delayed representation. Now, what we need to do is we deal with NADCO report and everything else, including the court case, will be addressed in that manner. Because at the end of the day, we will have a process that will be followed to pick commissioners of the electoral body. So, to me, I think we should, although politics is politics, I think we need to move first as national parliament and ensure NADCO report is debated, passed and implemented, so that this issue of representation, which took us to court, is addressed, and the Kenyans are happy. We are again. You know, Victor, we need a referee who is trusted, a referee whose other players believe in. Sometimes you could be a very good professional. You could be somebody who understands the electoral issues. Remember, giving an example of the late Samuel Kivuitu. You know, Kivuitu is the one who oversaw the election that elected President Kibaki way back in 2002.
Yes.
But look at again in 2007, 2008. It was the same person, the same commissioners, but this time round, the players seems not to trust them. The issue of trust here in electoral matters world over are very emotive, very critical, very sensitive. So we need also to ensure the process which will come by debating and passing that report will ensure it is not something that anybody will start casting as passions, somebody will start doubting, so that at the end of the day, whichever the current political formations, even the future ones ahead of 2027, will be in a position to stand and say, I believe in IEBC. And that is how to create political stability in this country before, during, and after the next elections.
Do you think going to court to challenge that NADCO report was a deliberate move? For the court to come up with that ruling?
Yes. What the court is telling Kenyans is there are some certain policymakers sleeping on their job somewhere. It is pure and simple. Why am I saying this? Why should we have a lacuna where today, as I represent Ward Hair, in the event I'm no longer the MCA, people in that particular ward cannot within a month or two be subjected to pick another person to lead them. So in this case, what the court is saying, they are raising a red flag.
Yes.
There is something here which needs to be addressed as a matter of urgency, as a matter of critical importance, as a matter of having a national stability in this country. Yes.
What do you really think is now running through the mind of Moses Wetangula? Wherever he is, in his head, what do you think he's thinking of?
I have worked with politically with the speaker, Wetangula. He's a very bright mind. He's courageous. But of late, in the new government, I can't tell you exactly how you weigh this.
Yes.
But I believe, looking and listening to the DG, anybody who cares for this country will do the right thing. And I think he'll look at that report, the NADCO report, very positively. Because this thing going to court, I don't think is for his liking, even for his political future in that parliament. So I'm expecting him to give a very good ruling, and also let the people discuss the issues and the way forward openly, without just being opposition or government. And I'm being positive on this, because it's very, very critical for our country.
You ready?
I think in this kind of quagmire we are in regarding this, the person to give a way forward is Wetangula. So we are all looking at him. But one thing we should be happy of is that we are taking this as urgency, or we are discussing it today just because the court made a ruling. Otherwise, before then, we were just...
The NADCO report was sitting somewhere, relaxing.
Sitting somewhere, relaxing, and nobody was looking at it in the direction that we are going to a constitutional crisis when next month reaches and we don't have a electoral commission in place. So before we even start, the court has made this country proud by pointing out that, look, we are almost going to the to a crisis. So for us, because we don't want to, we want what is good for the country. What we think, this is what should take place, and that is why we are there. So at the end of the day, before we even go think of what we take, what the court did was good, and we are already getting fruits out of that. What will happen, in my own analysis, is that at the end of the day, because these are two parallel decisions, at the end of the day, through the parliament, we will see a merger of the two. I may not tell how, but give it time. You see a merger of the two. The court and the National Dialogue Committee.
Parliament resumes tomorrow after a very long recess. DG, having sat there before, what should you expect? A very full in-tray for the National Assembly. We have got, housing levy here also to be debated. A lot happened over the last 2 months during recess. What should we expect us from tomorrow moving forward?
A number of issues. One, I expect the Parliament to push the executive arm of the government to adhere to the rule of law. They are able to do that. And one way of doing it is even setting a whole day for that discussion, so that whoever within the government, national or county, should follow any court ruling, anything that comes from the court. Number two is to put the interests of the country first. You know, this NADCO report can destabilize the country or stabilize the country, depending on how it is handled. So in this case, I would think our national parliament, both Senate and the National Assembly, should be in a position to save the country. The other point is speakers of the countries where they claim to follow democratic principles do not see nor hear what is happening in the parliament. But they facilitate to ensure members of parliament debate, and when it comes to voting, they vote, and the speaker announces that outcome. Speaker cannot go there and debate. Speaker cannot go there and vote, but he can facilitate and ensure there is a very fair process in arriving at decisions that are pro-country.
Absolutely.
So in this case, I think there is a lot of expectation. Still, the cost of living is too high. We are hearing what is happening within the education sector. It is the national, our national parliament, Senate and the National Assembly, which can call these policy makers from our education sector and sort out whatever is seemed to be a challenge. So there is a lot that needs to be fixed.
Absolutely.
I always say it is like a country we never learn a lot, Victor, because it is the other day when this country was locked down because of this what do you call it, COVID outbreak across the country. Now, across the world, not across the country.
All right.
But now, we seem not, look at how we are handling health sector in this country.
Yes.
It is a devolved function, but still, national government is still holding on the functions and the resources. You don't know.
We have to leave.
Yes,
20 seconds, Winnie.
Yes.
What should you expect moving forward? Tomorrow, Parliament resumes? 20 seconds, kindly.
Okay. I expect the Parliament, the lawmakers, to wake up and realize that Kenyans are expecting positive results from them.
Yes.
Whatever the unbeliefs are, they are the unbeliefs.
Yes.
But what is important for Kenyans is that the president gets real good advisors, and he also stops interfering so much with the parliament,
Yes.
and gives them space to debate on these issues without a lot of pressure, so that they can think and do the right thing for Kenyans.
Thank you. You ready? 20 seconds. She's done exactly 20 seconds. Take it, 19.
The parliament, their entry is full. Some of these things are affecting them directly, especially the one we have discussed at length, the electoral commission and all that.
Yes.
We expect them to move with speed and do the country good by solving some of these issues. Thank you.
All right. Director, perhaps there's a clip I want you to play for me here. And DG, I want you to tell me who that person, if you know that person. Director, there's a gentleman here.
They need not to fight another leader. We need to unite tukue kitu kimoja. Ndio Kalonzo aonekane Kericho, aonekane Marsabit, aonekane Mombasa, aonekane kila mahali. Lakini hiyo vita wanataka kuleta hapa, maybe wametuma na opponents. Ndio wakuje ku make sure Kalonzo amerudi nyumbani akuje kutatua maneno ya kisiasa hapa.
Do you know that gentleman?
Yeah.
Do you know that gentleman? We'll talk about that next time. What was happening? Again, in 10 seconds.
We were in a certain function within Machakos County.
Okay.
And that, I was trying to address the local politics.
Yeah.
The charity begins at home. So
And
we need to be united and we move forward.
We got you. Where's the feature? Tutakupata mahali huko. Thank you so much for joining us. We have, that was Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor of Machakos County. Asante sana for coming. And Winnie Kaburu, asante sana for joining my show for the first time. That was good. And Mwathi Reri, thank you for your insightful kind of comments. And you as a viewer, asante sana for watching. AFCON imeisha. The best team won. I don't know which happened. All right. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.
这个我就不明白。我是太明白了。怎么着？
利用这个规律，我们降低成本的概率在3.22%左右，并且有可能突破纳米非人无法量产分。现在全部的停机检修已经结束。我宣布，让我们保持一颗追求真理的心，永不放弃。
时间的尽头。Ole Matope, kwani kuna maandamano? Bana nichezeaga sana. Toa hizi matakataka hapa.
Ndio.
Si utafanya nianguje. Kazi toka.
Matunge. Sina bugdha wala nokta. Sasa kama mipenzi yangu iko ndani ya my heart, I will be eating in spirit.
We, sivili idine jini.
Sisi already tuko na boyfriends kwa hiyo hoteli, sisi wasichana tuko taken.
Sauri gani nyinyi iko na madharau kiasi hii?
Chema.
Kwenda huko.
Chole sema anaenda kwa bibi. Hii ni Nairobi.
Naringa watajua mimi ni nani katika mtandao.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out. Who's the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevaa kichwani. Zile wakati tulikuwa tunapishwa tunapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow.
We are the full package.
Oh, yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Itakuaje? Oya, 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 oya.
Auntie akona ka forehead. Akona the mark of quality.
Nataka kumaliza mambo hiyo wedding.
Kwanza kiongea kitu kiambie sana. Rosi Paul. Umenimaliza kama chai kwa kikombe. Hizi zote zimebaki December, September, October.
Wanaona, I know my Israel. Ni kama tu nikuje nikwambie uko na kichwa kubwa. Sasa makosa si
au sio? Ndio manake. Okay.
Every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migwi. This is Transformative Leaders segment. And today we are going to tackle a topic centering around accelerating transformative change within communities. And to help me with this conversation in studio today, I have one Dr. Joseph Muremi, who is the founder and CEO of Save a Life Community. Karibu sana to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you for making time for us.
I appreciate it.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine.
Yes.
I'm grateful.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Karibu sana.
To you and also to KBC community.
Yes. Yeah. Now, when we talk about transformative change within communities, in your own perspective, I would want to know, what is transformative change?
If you allow I'll start by introducing myself.
Yes.
My name is Dr. Joseph Muremi. As you said, I'm a founder of Save a Life organization.
Yes.
And for me, I define transformational leadership as leadership whereby our main aim is transforming, changing lives in a positive way, where we are leaving a positive impact. And that can be from maybe in terms of mindset, in terms of maybe physical change. That can be in terms of growth.
Yes.
So where leaders are transforming individuals, changing individuals, changing communities, that's where now we talk about transformation.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, when we talk about accelerating this transformative change, how can we now achieve it?
For me, I think once we understand what is transformation, uplift their lives. And I was telling you about when you go to a place like Turkana, where I'm doing a lot of community work, and we are trying to, and you find that some are not even, they're not inspired, they're not motivated, and you find that there are some gaps whereby they cannot even access health facility, and that has been our main thing. And recently, like we got like over 15 from kids from Turkana. We were doing the surgeries here in Nairobi. And far from this, now bridging this gap, we are also doing a lot of empowering. How can we change that mindset? How can we inspire them to think positively? And because, you know, hope is what keeps us going.
Yes.
And if you can think of how you can transform, you can change that person to a better person. I think that should be the discussion we should be having, yeah? And understanding the real issues that people are facing. That's what we'll be discussing. And understanding what they need. Because sometimes we might go to maybe a certain community and we bring something that they don't need. Yeah. What you need to understand is to understand what is the gap, what do they need, instead of now you bring what you think that they need. Understand what is lacking, and from there, once you bridge that, once you help them to move to the next level, that's what you're talking about, transformational leadership.
So you have to go there and sit down with them or engage, observe, so as to understand what exactly they need.
That's true. And you find that even non-profits, sometimes they make mistakes, where they go to a certain community, they find certain group of people, and they do what they have been doing in different communities, and they don't appreciate. You find that they don't take it and they don't utilize. And you find that there is a lot of investment, but they don't touch their lives. They don't transform their lives. And that's you find that they miss the point. And once you miss the point, you miss the entire thing. So for me, I think is, as we do, because we are dealing with different people and different regions, you understand what they are lacking, what they need, and you work with them. And for me, I think back to basics, understand their basic. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Today in my court, today early morning, the first thing I did, I have been seeing 3 boys around my court. And I asked my kids, do you know the reason why these kids are not going to school? And they told me that it's because of school fees. They don't have school fees. Today, early morning, that was the first thing I did. After dropping my kids to school, I made sure that now these kids have money. Because now the mother, I was told that they separated with the husband and she lost her job. And the kid has been at home from last semester, this semester, and they were now she was to move them to a public school, but they needed some money to move them to a public school, and she could not afford this money. You can imagine, even she cannot access that public school. So what I did early in the morning before coming here, I had to understand that these kids, if they get someone who can just walk with the mother a little bit, you see, I transform their lives. You can imagine today, if such kids, they cannot access education.
And that is just a cross-section, just a small tip of the iceberg.
I'm giving an example. And again, I like talking about back to basics. It's about understanding. Like, for example, personally, I keep on saying, how many suits do I need? How many cars can you, or maybe how many shoes can you put on? Just one. And if we know that, we acknowledge that if God has given you certain maybe ability in terms of maybe resources, skills, or maybe brains, God has blessed us so that you can be a blessing to someone else, so that you can consider someone else. I don't need to think about the latest suit, designer suit in town, so that I keep on changing. But I need to consider, how is my community doing? If I can, all of us can think in this direction. I'm telling you, in Kenya, we'll do away with poverty. We'll do away with people who are not empowered. And I think this is the discussion that should be discussing. When we talk about transformational leadership, is understanding what can you do to someone else. And a leader is not someone who is sitting in an office or maybe sitting in maybe in a higher office. No, a leader is someone who can see a gap and maybe step in and change that maybe situation. And for me, I believe a leader is someone who can make a difference. A leader is someone who has skills. For example, in my bedroom, the only person who comes to my bedroom maybe most of the time is my wife. But sometimes when I have a problem with the bulb, I'll call an electrician. In that time, he's a leader because he'll come and tell me, move this bed. He's in charge. And he sees that this is a gap. I need to do this. And all of us, we can make a difference in one way or another. Despite you don't need to be so learned, maybe to have a lot of money, but if you can see a gap, what you can do, step in and change someone's life in a positive way. Like now in this platform, we're talking about inspiring, motivating someone who is watching today, someone who has been, for example, going through a lot of maybe challenges. Today, telling him it's not the end of life. Tomorrow will be different. That is transformation, because you're changing the mindset.
I'd love to know, you work with various people from various communities. What inspired you to start Save a Life, and what inspires your approach to transformative initiative within the communities?
That's a good question. I'll say that for me, serving, I'll say, is more of a calling. I say it's a calling. And I believe this is my purpose in life. And I was a journalist, like you, one day. And I went to do a story I was a cameraman. I went to do a story in Mathare. And I found a young lady, I remember Sylvia, and she had a fracture. And she was sick, I think, with this fracture for almost a year. And the hand was, rotting. And I didn't have the money, but I had the skills. That's why I said that if you're a leader and you have skills, you can change a life. I had my camera. I took the pictures, told the story. We got the money. I remember they have, I think, tried to fundraise. The first fundraising they got, I think, 7,000. The second was, I think, around 3,000 to 5,000. And they ate the money. That money could not even do the investigation. So when I did the story, because they needed around 250,000, I took the girl to Kijabe Hospital. And we were able to pay for the medical bill. And we did the surgery. And the girl today is okay. So after that, I felt, okay, so I can use my skills as a journalist to save lives. Using that lens, the next story, it was in Korogosho, a lady who needed a cardiac surgery. She needed 500,000 in Kenyatta. I did the story again, got the money, took the girl to the hospital, and said, okay, so I can use my skills to transform my life. Then I started doing that. Till today, we have transformed so many, from feeding programs, empowerment programs, over 100,000 cases, and over, I think, 2,000 major cases, surgery that we have done. So what I want to say is that sometimes is understanding the need of people that you are living in, and that's why we keep on saying that no one who can live on an island. And that's why we are given differently. God has blessed you in a different way. That's why we find that someone who can do this, someone else cannot do this. And we need to live together in harmony, that unity, so that we can bridge the gap, help each other, and grow together as one people. And for me, I believe that's why God created us in different diversity, different, ideas, different also ability. And this ability, what we need to do is to work together so that we can keep on working together as one people.
So the idea is to start from where you are, regardless of what you have. If you are in a capacity to help, just do it.
And having said that, I have a friend of mine keep on saying that when I get a lot of money, I'll start helping initiative. I told him that's a scam. Helping is where you are. It's sacrificing. And helping is not losing. Helping is what can you do? For example, if maybe I'm doing, maybe for now we have a medical camp, working with, we have partnered with an organization called I Hope, and we'll be in Embu from 17th to 23rd. We'll be doing surgeries. And if you don't have money, but you can be available and help us, that is helping. If maybe you can come and give us idea, that is helping. So basically, helping is deciding to help. It doesn't mean that you need to have a lot of money to help. No, even giving that, like for example, people that have been helping us, Kenyans, and those people who give 10 shilling, 20, 30, 100, and through that, bring that money together, we are able to help so many people.
Yes. When we talk about accelerating transformative change within communities, we cannot ignore the place of local leaders in achieving this.
That's true.
So what is the role, according to you, what is the role of local leaders in accelerating the change that we are talking about
That's
here?
a good example. And I'll start from, give an example because I work with church leaders.
Yes.
And I think doing this, they have been key supporter in what I do, in Save a Life. And is understanding that all of us are human beings. And I want to highlight some cases that I don't feel comfortable with, where you find that it is a congregation of maybe, for example, 500 people.
Yes.
We have maybe a patient who has been sick for the last maybe 10 years or 5 years, and that person has been in that church. And that leader has been seeing the gap, but is not stepping in. And you can imagine even saying that let's contribute 100 bob each and pay for maybe NHIF and maybe help this lady. It's very much possible.
Yes.
So, as I said earlier, is understanding what can you do at your capacity. Are you a church leader? What can you do? You have maybe felt, for example, the example that I've just given you, that I had a lady in our court who had been, the kids have not been going to school from last semester to this semester. to today. I think you'll be going today because I have given them the money today. And I believe that this lady has been going to church. These kids, they belong to somewhere, to a certain church. But the leader is just seeing the gap. But what maybe he can do, he can maybe only say, let's pray for these kids. Let's pray for this lady. That is not enough. Yes, pray for them, but they need the money. That's why you find that local leaders, they will say, I need a car, support me financially. But you, when you have a problem, wanasema wakuombe. That's not enough. So for me, what I mean is that all the leaders, from church leaders, local leaders, government leaders, is understanding, okay, what can we do? Which gap can we maybe bridge and all that? Like, for example, give an example. And I understand the leaders in Embu, they're also part of this IHOP. They felt that there is a gap. They have so many people which they have not done the surgeries, and they don't have enough maybe supply and surgeons and all that. But we are bringing surgeons from USA, from Europe, from Argentina to come and do this. So it's about seeing the gap and how can you come in. What are you willing to do? But don't just see the gap, just wait someone else to come and help. So what I mean is, as a leader, identify the problem and act. And acting, there are so many ways that you can act. Nowadays, I believe that everybody is on social media. I'm doing a lot on social media. I fundraise through social media. If you see a gap, go and talk about the problem. Talk about what is going on. And allow me to give an example of the same thing that I have done today morning. And because for me, I like giving the real examples. In our court, we have so many people. You can imagine, because we're around, I think, 20,000 to join the public school, if someone can see that these kids have not been in school, I didn't know, and just go onto that WhatsApp group, and maybe people can contribute. You can imagine the magnitude, the change that we can bring through using social media to bring that positive change.
Yes.
Are you getting? So what I mean is that some leaders see the gap and they keep quiet. But there are some who are taking that action and bridging the gap.
It also brings out the aspect of identifying and identifying priorities. How can leaders now identify priorities and ensure they prioritize issues that are major and are affecting communities?
Thank you. Back to basics. Understand the basic needs. Issues like food, education, health, basic. And from there, you say that this is more important. How can we bridge this gap? If we start with the most, because normally you work with the inverted pyramid, and you see the most needed, item in that community or to that individual. Then you start from that, and from there you're able to move. That's why you find that maybe, for example, is a national government or maybe local government which is pushing something which you don't need. You understand? But there is an issue which people, if they don't access it, they will die. Are you getting? Let's talk about health. Let's talk about access to food. Let's discuss about those issues. Let's talk about basic issues. Education. Education is key in our lives. And once you are able to prioritize that, then I'm sure you're going to transform this nation. And not only from not looking at that, sometimes as Kenyans we focus on what the government is doing, what the government is not doing. But what are you doing as individual? What are you doing in that community? Yeah? Are you in that locality where you are? What are you doing? Which impact are you doing? Have you ever done something for someone? Have you ever done something for the community? Or you're just saying the government, are you getting? So for me, I think if we work together as one people, we'll be able to uplift so many people. And poverty will be something of the past.
Even besides the government, just as you have said, besides the government, the other community leaders, the people, how do you bring in the people and ensure that they are included in all these transformational change, because you have to start somewhere with, and the people are the ones with whom you start.
Perfect. And I say that first is, of course, you start with the mindset. Once you think positive, I think that's the first step. You as a person, when you see positive, you think positive, that's the first step. The next thing is to, if now the case needs to, maybe because there are so many, as we said that there are so many ways that you can change people. You can inspire them in a positive way. Yeah, maybe you can find that they are lacking something that you can provide. Yeah, so for me, what I think as a leader is, I said, you identify the problem, you start acting from being positive, and you find that people will rally behind you. Yes. I'll give an example of Save a Life. How I started as individual, as something that I felt now I need to help this young girl. And when Kenyans now started seeing that I have acted, started now rallying behind, started joining. And I have gotten so many people, even leaders, coming to support. Yeah, from national government, coming to support what I'm doing. And again, on the same, I've also inspired so many people, local and international, to think about how they can help someone. So for me, I think is having that positive mind to help. Again, start acting. What can you do? Start moving. And people will rally behind you. People will always support. Like, for example, what I do, Kenya started supporting. Like now I get a call and people ask, which patient do you have? Which program are you doing? What are you doing? You know, people want to support because they have seen what I'm doing. And talk about integrity. Because as a leader, if you demonstrate integrity, you know, we talk about honesty. People, they see that it is you who are doing this. I'm telling you, they will always work with you.
Change is, we are living in a time when social media has taken prevalence, and driving the the transformational change that we are talking about requires the inclusion of social media. Yes. How can people now leverage the social media and achieve the accelerated change and transformative change that we are talking about?
That's a very good subject. And to be honest, I think young people are misusing social media. For example, now if you go to Twitter and Facebook, young people, they you find, for me, I feel that they're misusing it. But you should be able to use social media to push positive change. Yeah, talk about issues that are affecting us. Yeah, talk about maybe inspire people. Drive that positive energy to people. Yeah, when you wake up in the morning, tell them good morning, wish them well. Yeah, tell them that you can do it. We need that positive, you know, influence in social media. Yes. But when you see young people using social media to abuse each other, you find that, you know, and when you do that, it also reflects back to you because there's that power of what you think. If you're negative, you also attract that negative energy. There's a book called The Secret, talking about what you think is what you attract. If you think negative, you also, you know, pull that negative energy. But when you think positive, you also pull that positive energy and you keep on dreaming positive. So what I mean is social media is a big tool in today's world. And social media can be used to push positive vibe. And I urge young people, like for example, you find that, for example, I get young people approaching me on social media, on WhatsApp, and you find that the picture that is on WhatsApp, or the language, you know, it's not even positive. You personally, before responding, you see that what is, you know, are you getting? And nowadays, if you apply for a job, the first thing they do, they go on social media, then they see what you've been talking about. Yes. They see who you are, and you know, online doesn't forget. Yes. When you put something online on that social, on that FB, on that tweet, it doesn't forget. You know? So what I mean is people should see social media as a platform of social change, of positive change, of pushing something positive for people. And when we talk about transformational leadership, that's what we should be utilizing. And I'm a good example. When you talk about online, when you go to my Facebook page, I'm ministering I'm serving God through my social media platform. I'm visiting people, fundraising, giving, inspiring people on social media. And you find that, like on my page, I get millions coming to my page. I have over 200,000 followers. And people that come to me, my main aim is to inspire them. But why should I be there to discourage someone? Are you getting?
Yeah. Talk about, are there metrics or indicators that can be used to measure or evaluate the progress of the initiatives that accelerate transformational change? But we'll come back to that after we come from this short break.
Let go of me! I'll kill you, you good for nothing! I will kill you! Did you hear me? You didn't only make fools of both my daughters. You also played with the feelings of the woman who's going to be your wife. Be careful, why did you do this? Going to kill him.
I overcame Rodrigo's betrayal a long time ago, but to know that he deceived me with my own sister, he destroyed my life.
It's for Lucia. I want her to come home to this house. But before that, I need Nora and you to get out of here.
I know that you're the only person who loves me more than anything else in this world.
Then please stay, honey. We could all just simply move out together and be happy. We could even...
Dad? What's happening, Dad? 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 Dad! Dad! Dad!
Yo, Kotsi. Ole matope kwani kuna maandamano? Bana ni kesi yaka sana. Toa hizi matakataka hapa.
Ndio.
Si utabanya nianguje. Kazi toka.
Matunge. Sina bugdha wala nokta. Sasa kama mipenzi yangu iko ndani ya my heart, I will be eating in spirit.
We, sivili idine jini.
Sisi already tuko na boyfriends kwa hiyo hoteli, sisi wasichana tuko taken.
Sauri gani nyinyi iko na madharau kiasi hii?
Chema.
Wenda huko.
Chole sema anaenda kwa bibi. Hii ni Nairobi.
Naringa watajua mimi ni nani katika mtandao.
Welcome back. This is Transformative Leaders on Good Morning Kenya. And before we went on a break, I had just asked Daktari here, are there metrics or indicators that can be used to measure or evaluate progress in as far as accelerating the transformational change that we are talking about is concerned?
For me, when you talk about indicators, I see the change that has taken place in people's lives. Talk about education. And now if you go to Nairobi town and maybe throw a stone, probably it will drop to someone who has a degree.
Yes.
Yeah. And you find that there is that huge difference between 20 years ago and now.
And now, yes.
So when we talk about education, I think we are doing well.
Yes.
Talk about, for example, health facility. When you go to counties, and I love the leadership about devolution, the idea about devolution. You find that in our counties, you can access health in different counties. Yeah, although you're still struggling there, but there is huge growth, we talk about health facility, and we talk about accessing, food. Will show me that many people are able to access food. Yeah, apart from maybe let's say they would maybe like it in a different way, but you find that nowadays we don't get stories of people dying because of hunger, not as before. So for me, I think we are doing well, and from our church leaders, I think there is a huge growth. And when talk about integrity again, for me I think also there is growth because people are able to understand that how much do I need? I can only, for example, and these are maybe topics that should be discussing a lot, because how much can you keep for yourself?
How much does one need?
Exactly. Yeah. And how much do you need? For example, if you have a car, you can only drive one car at a time. If people can understand this, there's no need of when you get an opportunity, you take that opportunity of siphoning everything in that basket. So for me, I think if we continue discussing about this, pushing this narrative of now understanding that we are there so that we can live together in harmony. And you're not better than me. We are all equal. We are all equal. What I have an opportunity that someone else doesn't have. So what you need to do is just to work together and see how this opportunity can help that someone who doesn't have an opportunity. If I'm in a public office, how can I now this position help someone who is down there? That's the mindset that we'll be having. So for me, I think there's change in our country, in our communities, huge one, also in a different setup, also in churches. People are, we are changing with time. We are changing with time. Yes. People are getting this narrative of pushing positive, change to our community and to our people.
Talk about the challenges that hinder effective transformative change initiatives. What are the major challenges that, from a general perspective?
Yes.
What are the major challenges?
For me, I think, as a transformation leader, I think integrity is key. I need to have integrity. So when others lack integrity, there's theft. There's people, there's a lot of stealing. So for me, I remember there's a case I went to do. I was helping a kid in Meru. And I remember I found the area MCA. And area MCA told me, yeah, this is my space. You cannot come to my space to help. And if we need to help, you need to give me some money. You understand? I'm going in a certain way to help someone, a kid who is suffering with cancer. But the area MCA is telling me that I need to pay him for me to help this, baby boy. Are you getting? So lack of integrity. Yeah, people thinking about themselves. How can they benefit? Are you getting? And that's what hinders development in Kenya. And if people can, change the perspective, that great, if they change that perspective about life, I'm sure we can do a lot. So for me, with this experience, I think I can say integrity has been part of what affects people to even push that positive, change in people's and community. And another thing is, I think, lack of resources. Lack of resources, because, for example, I want to do more. But, for example, if I can only pick one patient per week, and is very expensive, but I want to do 10 or 20, you understand, lack of resources, it is hindering me. And you find that there are, like in the field that I do, you find that also there are cartels, people who will make sure that you're not visible. You cannot tap to resources. They want to access those resources. The issue of integrity again. So I think that's a major issue. Yes. But that's why I'm saying these are very good opportunities that we can have such, topics. Yes. And I'm sure many people are listening. And I'm sure we have inspired positive change today.
Speaking of inspiration, as we come to a close of this segment, inspire someone who wants to start transforming the people of in their own capacity, transforming from where they are.
Thank you. I want to start with someone who is maybe going through hard times. And I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. And you know, Jesus Christ was also a transformational leader. And he was also a servant leader. Because to be a transformational leader, you need to be a servant leader. You need to serve people. And in the Bible, in the big book, because I follow the big book.
Yes.
There's a guy called Joseph in the Bible. When you read about Genesis from 39, this guy had a dream of becoming someone great. But from the time he was young, the siblings used to discourage him and to fight him and all that. Then after that, he went to prison. He was again in prison for years. And he was a slave. But at the end, he was taken in command. What I want to say is you're going through hard times now, difficulties. Just believe there is hope. Tomorrow will be different. Just believe in God. Keep moving. Things will change. And again, for those who want to do something, start doing it. And doing it is, if you don't have money, you can go to your church, clean, or maybe go to your community, do a cleanup, do something that you are able to do. If you're a scholar like me, you can do research.
Yes.
Are you getting? If you have money, that's why Save a Life is here. And you want to be part of Save a Life, you can go to our website, that is www.savealifecommunity.org. Be part of us, and we really appreciate it. Because I keep on saying that service to humanity is service to God.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Thank you for making time for us.
Asante.
We have been talking to one Dr. Joseph Muremi, who is the founder and CEO of Save a Life Community. This has been Transformative Leaders. My name is Mike Migu. Don't go too far. Good Morning Kenya continues shortly.
The sounds of happy chimps at the Sweetwaters Chimpanzee Sanctuary in Old Pejeta Conservancy in central Kenya. The jovial mood as they play and groom each other, however, belies the trauma that befell them in the wild. They escaped from being killed for their meat or kept as pets in the Middle East. Over the past decade, the Sweetwater Sanctuary has been compelled to take in chimpanzees rescued from traumatic situations, some of them rescued from cramped and unnatural living conditions, with most of them nursing injuries from human abuse. One of the first to call Sweetwater's home is 35-year-old Max, who had been raised by a French film crew in the 1980s. Despite his playful tantrums and spontaneous screaming, he is a performer who will charm you with his antics.
Because of their intelligence, some of them they've been attempting to escape. They've been trying to disconnect the power. They've been trying to short-circuit the electric fence by using the dry sticks.
Chimps aren't native to Kenya. In 1995, a chimpanzee was rescued from Burundi, where he'd been held in this small cage suspended from the ceiling without enough room for him to sit or lie. After years of standing on two legs, his pelvic muscles were so underdeveloped that he became bipedal, like a human.
They have extraordinary strength, so they are 4 times stronger than the strongest man in the world.
Illegal wildlife trade is devastating wildlife species across the globe as poachers, traffickers and highly organized criminal syndicates ruthlessly pursue profit at any cost to meet consumer demand for bushmeat. Demand for bushmeat from the illegal hunting of wildlife like elephants, bats, antelopes, monkeys and great apes is on the rise, with roughly 500 African species sold in economically well-off African cities or exported to Europe annually.
You know, these chimpanzees, they are very, very, very expensive to maintain, so it normally costs us around 450,000 every year for each chimpanzee. So in case if a newborn is born accidentally, we don't allow, we control the breeding because of the cost.
In the year 2016, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, uplisted the western chimpanzee from endangered to critically endangered, reflecting the subspecies' increasingly dire conservation status.
So our main aim here is just to give them the better life because they were abused, they were traumatized, so they will spend the rest of their life in this sanctuary. Because also, you know, this is not their natural habitat, so they live in a tropical rainforest, and this is a savanna woodland area.
However, humans who eat bushmeat risk transmission of diseases from the animal. To curb this trade and avert the health risks, hunting quotas have to be enforced, the remaining species be protected, and civic education on bushmeat be conducted. For KBC Channel 1, I'm Alvin Kaunda.
Let go of me! I'll kill you, you good for nothing! I will kill you! Huh? Did you hear me? You didn't only make fools of both my daughters. You also played with the feelings of the woman who's going to be your wife. Be careful, why did you do this?
I overcame Rodrigo's betrayal a long time ago, but to know that he deceived me with my own sister? He destroyed my life.
It's for Lucia. I want her to come home to this house. But before that, I need Nora and you to get out of here.
I know that you're the only person who loves me more than anything else in this world.
Please stay, honey. We could all just simply move out together and be happy. We could even...
Dad? What's happening, Dad? 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 Dad?
Thank you for staying with us right here on Good Morning Kenya. My name is Vivian Degwa. As human beings, we are bound to experience setbacks, at least one or just, setbacks in our life. It is something that we can't really try to run away from. And today on Family Tech, we will be looking at how to rise above the setbacks. When they come your way, how do you cope and how do you bring yourself to the point where you are rising above these setbacks? And joining me for this particular conversation is not a new face on this set of Family Check, and that is Pastor Pearl Blessing. Pastor Pearl Blessing, welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
All right, let's begin by defining what a setback is.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that a setback is just an obstacle, something that stands on your way to your success.
Mm-hmm.
It is like you find that maybe what you wanted to achieve, you're not achieved, and it breaks you.
Mm-hmm.
It may cause you to have a fog of anger or in disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
And in that area, you find that you have a setback. If you don't work on it,
mm-hmm.
it can put you down. But if you can find it, you see it like a detour to success.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
And what are some of the setbacks, maybe, that we experience in life as humans?
Setback is general.
Yeah.
You can find it in family. Maybe you had the projects, you had plans that you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's go straight to like COVID.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID came, maybe someone was planning to do a big project, or maybe they were to travel so that they can be able to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then you cannot even leave your county, leave alone living the country.
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes a setback automatically. And you had projected and you had the money, you had all that you think you have, but you find that something comes and you cannot do it. So usually say that life is just like a government or like a state. You need to have contingency measures. Like when we say that the government knows that if rain comes, maybe in floods, what will you do to save our people? Of locusts come. So also we should expect there should be setbacks or obstacles and be ready for them. Look for a way to, when they come out, where you overcome them. Otherwise, they can put you down. Yes.
So when we're talking about setbacks, it can be in all aspects of
all
life.
Aspects,
you know, it
in
can be
work,
career-wise, it can be family-wise, it
Mm.
can be just in your relationships. You can have a setback in your relationships as
even
well.
divorce can come,
Yeah.
separation can come, and that will be a setback automatically. It will affect everybody around you. Yes, it becomes a setback. But just how you rise above it is the most important.
Yeah. If you may just try and look at some of the tips or how to cope when you are in the setback, not how to overcome, how to deal with it. You're experiencing a setback right now. How do you cope when you're in that moment of your or season of your life?
One the most important thing is that you don't break down. You have to look at it as a maybe you take it like a fuel. Maybe what you're going through, you can take it as a lesson, which will fuel your car or your jet to propel and go ahead. That could be a tip. And also make sure you don't get disappointed, because when you race into anger and disappointment, it becomes like a fog that your eyes cannot see. And if you can't see where you are going, of course, it becomes a true setback. But when you look at it like, if this has happened to me and I have to go ahead, you have to drop it. But usually it's not that easy, because at the moment you have to be broken down. So you can maybe detach yourself from a place, and maybe you overcome things by looking at green vegetation, you go out for a holiday. By that your mind will clear, then you can be able to think again. That's one of the things you can be able to do.
And you know, as you said, it's easier said than done. You know, you can just say you try to cope with it, you accept your situation, you try look for ways to get out of it. It's easier said than done. So for maybe someone who's going through a setback right now and is finding it really hard to accept and to cope, is therapy something you would advise?
You know, you can have a mentor, and a mentor that is very honest with you. You know, there are mentors who will come to encourage you, or even cause you think that you cannot go ahead, or even start blaming others, because blaming will not take you anywhere. You just have to take responsibility. This has happened to me. Whether someone was involved or not, take your personal responsibility, because it's your life, so that you can be able to move on. So this kind of a mentor, take a one who will be able to be honest with you. This was wrong. You did not make it, but see, this is how you can make it. But not to tell you to blame others, to take you through personally, show you this is the way to go through. That's where you may need some help, depending on how much it has broken you down. Because whatever happens, whether it's a death, whether it is divorce, whether it's loss of job, still life has to continue. Yes, life has to continue. So you have to arise and move. Yes.
But you don't need to do it on your own.
You cannot do it on your own. You must connect with others, and of course positive people, because like for example, someone lost the day of the wedding, the man didn't appear, and the people around her were telling her that that man is bad, and how he has crashed her. But let me tell you, if he has crashed you on the wedding day, that day, you should say that is God's way. Because if he crashes you on that wedding day, what will happen in 2 years? So maybe it was a save. God was saving you from something. So you need someone who tells you, he has dabbed you, dab him, and move on. Because if you start crashing and say, I can't change even my wedding gown, I will cry all the days of my life. And everybody who comes around, you try also to, you know, when you are crushed, you crush people around you. So those who come around you, also you crush them that they've never seen the need of getting married. They would think of you and see this is the way. But if you arise, maybe someone else is waiting. You never know. Yeah.
And how do you deal with a person who's experiencing a setback, probably in a family setup? You know, maybe it's the woman who's experiencing a setback, you know. So how do you deal with such a person, either in the home or just as friends? How do you deal with that?
One of the things is that you must accept there's a problem. Accept, take responsibility, and don't get disappointed. So if that person stands like that, you find it's very easy to move on. Like for example, let me take an example of a child. Let's say a child does not do what you're expecting, and they bring bad results. And maybe you think taking away the phone will cause that child to become better. But this crashes her as she becomes maybe nervous. Anything that she does in the house, whenever she fails, she thinks she can't do anything. But if you show her, okay, that happened, and I'm sorry I also took the phone from you, because this is not solving a problem. Just a thought of things you are doing the right thing, but you are crushing her inner person. But if you show that failure is a lesson, and we can always move on. Whether it is in marriage, whether as a woman is a man, you have to accept, take responsibility. This has happened to me, and there's no other way, and I need to move on because life has to continue. Yeah, because however much you may be crushed, you're just you're massaging your ego. Because even if you feel that this is the end and you need everybody to come around you and try to massage you, still life is moving on and time is not waiting for you. Something else needs to be done. Accept this, what has happened, whatever it is, and be able to walk over it. That's what I can say.
So it's still on you. It doesn't matter about the people who are around you. You know that there's something we call support system.
Yeah.
And everyone needs a support system. But with what you're saying, it still goes back to you. The ball still goes back to your court.
However, they may support me and tell me what they think. Like me, let me tell you, for example, I chose to resign from the government. And the day I made that decision, I wrote a letter of 3 sentences. I appreciate time, knowledge, and skills acquired, but I have to go. And people said, maybe she has stress, we need to talk to her. Maybe you come, I try to help you. I've made my decision. So sometimes you may think that people around you can make you what you become, but maybe you are detouring your route to your success by that time. Okay, so if maybe you are crushed and if you need a support system around you, they will come and support you, but still they cannot make your decision.
Yeah.
They can only direct, but decision is about you. So it comes out of you. So you have to learn to arise and know that anything can come around, and stop what you have been planning, projecting things and seeing maybe 10 years ahead of you, and something happens, and that let's say, for example, you are a leader of a team in your place of work, like here, and something happens that people are being laid off. So they look you as their leader. You're also crushed, but they look at you to give them a reason why they should accept what is happening. So what do? You must be strong. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Setbacks generally are disruptive. They come to disrupt. But many a times they say that a setback is an opportunity for you to have a great comeback. How true is that statement? And is it just normally said so that you can feel, okay, probably there's something coming up that I should
Let me take you to Japan. They usually say that a crisis is an opportunity. Let's say, for example, let's say a door has been closed on a certain kind of industry. And of course, that product was supposed to be used. Something has to start being made to take over from that one. So when this has been closed, it is you now to see this is an opportunity to see what can I do and maybe take over from this. And let me tell you, majority, there are people who got crushed during COVID and went down and will never rise again. There are people who rose up during COVID and they will never go down because they saw it as an opportunity and looked at this time what is required, and they ran with it. Everybody was locked in the house, and maybe you are able to move, and you moved and you gave them what they wanted in their houses, and you rose up. So it becomes an opportunity. So it is not good for COVID to come, but I'm just giving an example that is so open for everyone. Yes.
So you look at it as
an opportunity.
Not just
make it like a fuel of your jet and propel and go. Because if you put yourself down, get disappointed, disappointment is like a fog that comes and blinds your eyes. You cannot see, and you think this is the end of life. Let's say someone has lost a marriage, and you think you have children, you have all that, and some people are even working. Let me tell you, there's a man who is taking care of his family with the kind of salary that you have. I'm not saying that people, when they have money, they have to do everything. But you think like, that's the end of life. Let me tell you, when you rise up and you wipe those tears and you don't get that fog of disappointment, you see something different. Yes.
And how does one build on their resilience? Because out of all this, what I'm taking from it is how resilient you are. You know, you need to be resilient enough for you to be able to come out of a setback. So how does one build or embrace resilience?
Let me tell you, there's what we call the new you. Okay, there's what I am now and what I'm supposed to become. So there's things that I do and I think I'm doing the best.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm supposed to come out to what I'm doing and to like a disappointment to be able to get where I am. So you have to be like having comfort in your heart and believing in yourself that there's a new you that you need to come to. You see? And that you can be able to drop anything and start again and you will rise again. But if you think what I thought and what I planned, what I projected is the only thing I can do, you cannot be able to overcome. That resilience comes out of believing in yourself. Before other people come and tell you how beautiful and how strong you are, you must believe in yourself. The first strength is you. It starts with you. When you accept you are the best, others will just come and a compliment on top. But if you are crushed and you feel, what can I do in life? I think I've come to the end of the road. You destroy yourself.
It doesn't matter how many people tell you otherwise.
Yeah, it starts with you. You need support system. It is very important. It also makes you grow and gives you more tips. But you have to arise from inside. So if you are crushed, you have to arise, wash your tight face and move on. Doesn't matter what has happened. But life must continue.
Yeah, life must go on. It always does.
Yeah.
Life always goes on. But what if the setbacks are coming back to back to back to back? You know, there's this setback. You're not even, you know, you've not even stabilized another setback.
Sometimes it's just God working on you. You know, we say that there's that what you call, sorry, your blueprint or your DNA. And until you get to understand who you are supposed to become, you will have those setbacks because you're supposed to detour to the right place to be. And those, as you try to detour to take the right path to your success, setbacks are accompaniments towards your place. Because when you are getting a setback, you may think it's a setback, but it's a support towards where you're supposed to become. So you continue to get a setback as you find your way to where you are supposed to be. So just take it positive. One thing I say is that attitude is the most important thing. When you have a positive attitude, everything that comes your way, you can be able to work on it and you can be able to go through. Yes. So it will be very easy. If only you see it a setback as an accompaniment or let's say a colleague towards where you're supposed to be. It's a detour. In the route to your success, you are detouring your path. But who are you going with? It's not your family members. This is you. Life is personal. And I've told you, your life is your government. It is like a government. It's a state. You manage it. So you have to have contingency measures. If this happens, I will not put myself down. I will not rise again and be able to move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes these setbacks come with a lot of things. You know, one may experience anxiety. Another person may experience low self-esteem. You know, another may experience depression even. So how do you go about, or rather what to do now when you experience such things? For example, it has brought you to a point where now your self-esteem is to the pits.
You know, self-esteem is also still a massaging ego. Yeah. Because, okay, something has happened and some things are very bad. They bring you shame. Your name in society is just like it is gone. Let me tell you, all this is about others. What causes people to have self-esteem is about others. Because it's about what do they say about me? What do they think about me? I've not managed as I thought. Maybe what they expected out of you did not do it. So it's about others. So for you to overcome self-esteem, it's just about working on self, believing in self, and working on the new you. Believing that there's a new you, you need to come out of it and be able to, because however you put yourself down, you are losing on time. And let me tell you, the time that we have sat here is gone and will never be. Another day like today, that is next time, a time like this, but this is gone. So when you are crying, what are you adding value to? So it's about adding value. Every day, every move you make, and everything that you do. Me, I usually say, if people around you are crushing you, learn to work with people who believe in you. If I find you that you don't believe in me, you don't trust what I do, I drop you. You say select, draw, select, and delete. Because you have to decrease the people that are around you, so that you may have the positive that will tell you that you can make it. Anybody who tells you that this is not possible, drop them. They're not building you, they're crushing you. So already you are crushed, then I come and tell you, all that. And where will you go again now? That word is destructive. But if I come and tell you, yes, you can make it, you can rise, you can do something better than this, you rise. It is just, a man is just about ego. It's about ego.
And that's on the self-esteem side. But what of now if someone has gotten to a point where now they are depressed?
Okay, sometimes you need help. You need psychological help. Because now it's above you managing. You need help from outside. You can help get psychological help. You may have also maybe to see a doctor. Sometimes that depression comes to a place where it cannot be managed by psychologist who are just talking to you. Maybe you need a doctor. But all in all, it's an environment that you need. Maybe sometimes what is causing your depression is where you are. If you are in Nairobi and you find what has happened in Nairobi is crushing you, change. Because it's about you rising up again. Even if you have to relocate, if that makes you better, do it. It doesn't matter what it costs, but you have to make sure that you have stood up. Because most of the people who are even now, maybe they are being taken care of, maybe rehabilitation centers, and they have gone into drugs to that level. Just someone needed to tell that person, it is possible. You dropped. Maybe someone gets pregnant. And the parents, like, they are protecting their names. You know, the parents protect their name, they forget about their own children. Society names. So, because the society, the woman, that's the mother of the child, as her name in the society, maybe in the church, the daughter is pregnant. They would even desire that you abort. Protect their name. But it's someone's life. Maybe that's the only child they could have got. And because of that, the child gets crushed, gets depressed, send them away and all that, just to protect your name. You are destroying. Because she can go back to school, take the child, take care of that child, and show both of them love. And she'll come out the best person that could never be found.
And maybe where does one learn to be resilient? You know?
Okay. The most important thing, let me tell you, in all we do, relationship with God. Because men cannot help you. But when you go into your inner closet and you talk to God, everybody has a way to talk to God. In respect to all religions, everyone has a way they talk to God. And when you go to that inner closet and you tell God, I cannot make it, I need your help, that help comes down. And that help can come down directly to you, or God may cause someone to come and encourage you. But you have to draw to that. The most important place is a place of prayer and a place of, let's say, meditating. You get quiet and you seek to know what's happening to me and which is the way forward. But this only happens when you are still stable in the mind. Because it's about the mind and your heart. The Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. That's why we say that your feet, where you take your feet, maybe what's crushing you, where do you go? What do they talk about? Because what you hear is a highway to your heart. What you touch is an highway to your heart. Then all tossed into your heart. Then out of your heart, the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. Then you start speaking negative. But if you surround yourself with positive people, always will speak positive. Then you build yourself, build your emotions, build your mind, and you become the best person. Out of everybody, there's something good that will come out. But people around you can crush you and destroy you, and you become useless. If you show me you don't believe in me, I tell you, I'll drop you. Yes, I'll drop you. I don't need to drop you that I will talk to you. But I just cut you out of my system. Because you will always tell me that it's not possible. Like, for example, let me tell you an example of strength and doing something which is not possible. Like now I've decided to start meetings. And I went to 680 Hotel and I took an all to start meetings. Do you think it's possible for someone just to arise? You want to start meetings as a pastor and you walk to 680. You must have confidence. Not because I have the money, but I believe that God is going to be with me. It will be possible. Now, you see, but someone will say, no, that's not possible. Maybe I go to Kawangware. You see? So depending on how much strength is in your spirit and how you believe in God and yourself. Yes.
I'm looking at a scenario where it's a family setup and probably the parents are experiencing a setback. Maybe one of the parents has lost their job. Does how they deal with that setback affect how this child will grow up knowing that there are setbacks in life and this is how you can deal with them? Does it affect them directly?
Let me give you an example of a child that said something during COVID. It was like, you know, some people go to work very early, come very late. And COVID comes and you find that the father is always in the house and it's like, it's crashed. And she asked the mother. That's our father live with us nowadays. He was living there, but the boy could not only see him on weekend. But the children could see something has been lost. The mother has lost job, even the father has lost job. Or one of them lost job. So if one loses job and maybe stands against the other, the children will see. It will crush everybody. But whatever is on the table can be managed. You see, it depends on how people take it. Because if you listen to others outside, they will destroy what you do inside. So it starts from inside. So let's say as you have said, the father has lost a job and some other now that is working. One thing about his men is that it's their ego. When he knows that is being fed, he doesn't feel strong. You see, either there are those who believe they can be fed, there are those who feel that being fed is not being a man enough. And you can feed him and he's crushed. Then he becomes, what do you call it? And it is like he feels that he's not a man enough. He's not a man enough. And that will crush him. And he can even become bitter and even turn against the woman. Because he doesn't feel like he's managing. So it's about just sitting and talking.
Yeah.
This is what we have. It's ours. Can we have it? Can we manage it? With all respect. And that you're the head of the family and all the children understand what is there. If it's about maybe relocating, because when money is reduced and you are living in a upper end, automatically you have to change where you're going to live. So you accept it's about accepting the situation and having a positive attitude. And I tell you, you rise again. But when you see it and you maybe say, I cannot manage this, I can't live with a man without money, that comes to an end. But there's always a way to detour back to success. Yes.
Does age have anything to do with this? By this I mean, is there an age where it's easier to deal with a setback than a certain age?
I don't think. You know, there are people who are very young, but they are very resilient. And there are people who are of age, but they don't know what they are doing. Yeah. So it depends. It depends on upbringing and all that, and the environment around you. You may find someone who is maybe of old age and they cannot manage, but a young person can do it.
Your last words on setbacks and how to just go about rising up above it.
Okay. All I'll say is that when something like any setback comes to you, you just don't get disappointed. Rise up and move. Do not be crushed. Just make sure that you make it. Yes.
All right.
That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you so much, Pastor Pal, for shedding light on this conversation that we were having, that is rising above setbacks. And this is where we end Good Morning Kenya for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We meet again tomorrow, same time and place.
Shule yenye nilisomea high school tuko tu alumni wawili.
Wewe na nani?
Na Dende Nyoro.
In 1804, the revolution brought by Toussaint Louverture brought Toussaint.
Revolution by who?
Toussaint Louverture.
Morio rada, kwani niko na mali yako, unaniangalia hivi. Unazidai.
So, when he was summoned by the judge to explain why he did so, he told the judge to open the book of Proverbs chapter 6 verses 30.
Mimi mtu wangu alikuwa anaingia mboka za maana, unaona?
Mboka za maana unamaanisha aje?
Alikuwa mwizi wa maana.
The king in the land of
This February, precious moments with Channel One entail endless hours of warm sentiments.
I really love you.
Oh, Lord. Joy.
Did you get the job, Letty?
Romance.
Oh, babe.
Affection. Passion.
Na hisia zinasobobojeka moyoni